So.
All right, this is being recorded, so anything you say can and will be used against you. No, it won't. No, it won't.
I'm past that stage in my life now. Like, fuck it, it's over.
All right.
I did not sign a waiver for this.
You stop. Listen, Monica. So, since you the only one without a drink,
I don't have a drink.
you ain't got no drink, nigga. What? Who does that?
I haven't started drinking yet. I didn't start drinking yet.
Well, in order to play Never Have I Ever, you need a drink.
You need a drink, nigga.
No, I got mine.
So now we gotta wait on you.
You gotta drink laxative.
Mike, what you got?
I got some bourbon.
You got some bourbon? A long ass cigar. All right, Tony Montana.
Okay, don't start with me. I'm gonna grab a drink.
Oh, you gonna grab a drink? Monica drinking there?
You know Monica keeps 17 types of liquor. Monica got everything. Monica, meet me in Long Island when you get up, because you know she got it.
Look, my Apple Crown came in yesterday.
Oh, shit. You need to teach everybody
They got
else.
that Buckingham Palace wine. They got that Meghan and Harry wine.
You need to teach everybody else in Pittsburgh how to what you call it? Order liquor.
She had a bird drop her joint on.
She was like,
one of them pelicans.
I don't need any.
Got that Douce in this cup.
I had no hard liquor in a minute.
You said what?
I had no hard liquor in a minute.
Because that wine is 400 years old, nigga.
He used to have the best drink mixes. He used to come up with all kinds of stuff.
I know. You not having liquor. That's the idea that's bothering me a little bit.
I have my drink.
You got a drink?
Yes.
What's brown on top of brown mixed with some brown?
This is
Herbal Kool-Aid.
Mango.
You need a fridge with the door closed by.
Pineapple parmesan and some pineapple juice.
Okay. I can dig it.
So it's going to hit and I ain't put no ice in the shit.
It's cranberry lemonade.
What is it? Cranberry what?
Cranberry lemonade.
Cranberry lemonade.
This is sangria.
They can see.
I'm with Kahim tonight. I'm drinking Buckingham Palace sangria.
Buckingham
Briefly.
Stupid. Don't start.
I'm
Don't start your
drinking the
shit.
Queen's 90th birthday.
I already listened to you from Sunday. Don't start your shit.
No. So Kelly.
Hey, yo.
Please turn that computer down.
What I say on Sunday?
Oh, yeah.
Let's turn all the way down.
Not Kelly. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, this nigga.
He was definitely getting his podcast on.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yo, and I was sober as shit. I mean, besides medicating.
I tried to tell you.
Besides for medicating, I had a shot at the end by mistake, and I didn't really realize I forgot to take it.
I should have joined by my.
I'm trying to go to the next level.
I'm mad as hell. We gotta look at Mike Crotch and shit. What are we doing, dog? Like,
oh no, what type shit we into? He got the underground camera going on.
I'm old, man. I have a hard time.
Hey, old man, this is not the audition.
I'm trying to multitask.
We waiting for Monica to come back. And Monica, you know what I'm saying? She probably blended. There she go.
See, damn man trying to steal my drink. You drunk yourself to death, little bitch. Trying to steal my shit. This grown people shit.
All right. So, everybody, welcome to the first, probably of many, Mr. KnowItAll
While we quarantine,
Zoom get-together party. It's music.
While we locked down, why not?
Why do you gotta change her name?
Meet new people, entertain people.
You can always drink bleach.
Don't do that.
On my screen,
it's too early for that shit.
My screen, the podcast is at the top. That's hot.
You said what?
I said on my screen, the podcast is at the top.
My screen, I got
a
lot of people.
That's a good look.
My shit just black.
Yeah, mine black. I just see people.
I don't know how many people in. Hey, how you doing, lady?
That might be on the speaker view.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, it could be like alternate. Yeah, that's alternated screen. Whoever's talking and whatnot.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna get it kicked off.
You need to put on the gallery view. Yeah.
How you do that?
Can you keep track of the questions? I'm gonna ask 10 questions. I know this.
How come everybody don't ask their own question? Like once you ask,
because I don't have any questions to ask.
Like you can.
No,
you're lying.
No questions to ask.
I have no questions to ask.
This is subordinate employee.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Kelly ain't just.
He Mr. Know-it-all. He gonna ask the questions
Okay, so
that we want to
I'm
answer.
asking all the questions. All right, you must drink if you've done it.
I'm already.
You've done it.
If you've done it, you must drink.
I don't think I should be part of this.
No,
You probably done it all.
You
I've
trying
done it all.
All right.
Hey, Dave, you trying to fuck niggas up in crib.
I know.
No.
You know, I got wifey here.
I'll
Just
start
because you
off
got psychiatrists in your house, I need somebody here.
Yo, you laughing too hard back there, nigga. Fuck out of here.
He about to fall.
Gannon, stop laughing so damn hard.
All right, here we go.
If I don't get nothing for a month, I'm blaming y'all.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I'll start off slow.
That's why you're supposed to put an earpiece in.
Y'all ready?
No, she ain't having that shit. She looking at me.
You ready? Never ever have
I'm
I.
right here.
Oh shit.
That sounded creepy. She was
I
like,
know.
My hands all sweaty and shit. I'm sweating and shit. Let's go.
Never ever have I fallen down the steps.
Every day.
Okay.
Still getting used to this house. This shit got a turn to it.
2 episodes ago. 3 episodes ago.
Okay.
Falling down the goddamn steps.
Never ever have I made a homemade porn.
Monica got a collection out there. I seen it. Pittsburgh Finest, volume 66.
Oh shit! Wait,
Just
Heather's
saying.
coming. All right, here we go.
You should not be scared when you go on Pornhub if your face gonna pop up.
Oh Lord, Monica,
hey,
please do stop that. Stop the look you giving right now. Like,
that's how she making this money in this damn COVID.
Money come.
Nigga, we quarantine.
It's $3 a view. Monica got $1 million.
They offering money for every.
Pornhub is on the beam right now.
Hello, Heather. Hello.
Hey, Heather.
Do you have a drink?
I
Do
come
you have
out
a
of
drink?
party. I don't have time for this shit. What's that?
All right.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, here she go with the shit. Listen, don't start your shit tonight.
Why is she smoking a tube?
You have a drink?
Saba's gone. I'm supposed to be at work. What's going on?
Are you supposed to be? All right, you got a drink.
She out of control.
You caught us on the booyah. Question number 3, or should I ask?
Question number 1. We only asked one question.
He asked 2.
Two.
What was the other question?
The first.
Have you ever made a homemade?
All right, so
everybody
everybody drinks for Falling Down the Steps and for the homemade movie.
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute, Kiana's coming in.
I ain't see you drink, Keith, and I know you and Shannon made them.
He was sipping with the straw.
They're together. This is weird.
Kiana, oh, you here too. Okay, so check this out. The first question was, never ever have I fallen down the steps. You got a drink? I know you done found the steps. Everybody found the steps.
I found a step without drinking.
All right, second question is, never ever have I made a home porn.
What?
I'm not
Never.
Don't be acting like that. Y'all gonna look at each other like,
know,
what?
exactly. Look,
Y'all know what a homemade porn is.
The thing when you star in it.
Like this on still though, like what you mean?
If your ass cheeks are on the camera, you
I'm
made
a
a porn.
virgin. I'm really a virgin.
I see you, Heather.
And she drank.
There's certain questions about Kiana and Heather that I just don't want to know. I'm gonna have to turn my head during this game.
Kiana,
You up there putting light on herself.
You have a drink?
Kiana got
I'm
on a
looking at,
bedroom robe. Is that polka dots?
lying.
Is that satin?
Is that velvet?
We together. We all together.
Oh.
Our doc can't say nothing. He got the whole damn collection out there.
Oh, don't do it. Stop. Here y'all go with the shit. All right.
I seen him
He
in
might as well
one.
get his bottle ready. He gonna be drinking all these questions.
Yeah.
Question 3.
All right.
I'm
gonna log out because
Never ever have I watched 2 people have sex that you weren't involved.
I'm gonna listen on Heather's. I'm gonna log off of man.
Hey, I'm feeling pretty.
I'm gonna sip up that
You
one.
watch
See
people have
drink.
sex?
Hold up. I see who drank.
Hedonism,
That is
goddamn.
disgusting.
All right, Doc, you might as well not even. You might
Everybody
as well
drink
just
on
keep
that
the
one.
bottle at
Everybody
your
has
mouth.
seen somebody have sex.
Mike
I ain't drink
and
on
Ruff
that
need
shit.
IVs.
Shannon, you was in college.
Mike and Ruff need IVs connected.
Watch two people have sex
You for real?
and laugh like I'm sitting here and there's people right here having sex. No.
Kelly, did you drink?
No.
Because like that was one of my prime.
Wait a minute, look. I put the top back on there.
You put the top bag on.
Time out. So
I don't even
who,
see
who
Kelly
all
Rowland.
drunk to this?
Everybody except me. Apparently, I'm slow.
Shit.
You full of shit, Shannon.
Mike, did you
know
drink?
Puerto Rico ain't got no goddamn walls in the house.
She said yes.
First of all, Monica gonna be drinking. You know, I'm not gonna do my cousin like that. That's okay.
Monica just got a straw. Just
I told you some of y'all need IVs. Y'all bullshit.
I'ma just drink because I just want to drink.
All right.
I just gotta get to the restroom and drink.
Over here.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Hey,
Next
Moy.
one.
Hey, Heather.
How
Never
you
have
doing?
Here we go. Never ever have I eaten feet.
And then what?
Eat feet.
Eat feet?
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
hell no.
Oh, space. He's like,
Who's eating?
No.
onion toes.
You
Put a toe in your mouth. Have you ever put a toe in your mouth?
He better take a
She
fucking
said
big ass
Shannon got
gulp.
big feet too.
It's gonna be a sober night for your girl. I don't know. I'm not getting drunk with y'all.
He had the buffet feet.
He said, you know when they right there on your shoulder.
You ain't military feet, nigga.
Left, right, left. I had them combat boot feet.
They ain't got no extra gristle on them.
I had them
Hold up. Hold up.
basic training feet. That's a different kind of foot right
I know
there.
you ain't talking. Y'all don't even wear shoes on your island.
Do you like hot sauce or syrup on them?
Oh my gosh.
He drank again. This must be his pastime. I'm just drinking in general. I never ate no feet.
All right.
I ain't never
here we
gonna
go.
eat no feet.
Here we go. Never ever have I worn women's underwear.
No. You don't wear no underwear. You work from home. How do you wear underwear? You work from home.
All right.
That's not my lane.
Nope, we got it. We got it. All right, here we go. Never ever have I done piss or scat play.
What is scat play exactly?
I don't even know what
Peed
this
or
means.
peed or shit at all. Oh, yeah! Oh, you niggas nasty!
I don't even know what this means.
I see you. I saw you. Yeah, we got one. We got one.
That was a drink.
Oh, yeah, I'll be
Oh, that wasn't a drink, Kelly.
It wasn't me.
That was a drink.
Those initials might be DS. I don't know.
No. You even the question, you don't want to hear it. You even the question, you don't want to hear it.
Everybody got a pass.
Listen.
Ass.
Or current. I mean, that's what you're into.
Gangster.
Who's
He's a married
drunk to
man.
that?
Huh? You said,
Who drunk to
don't
that?
do that?
Nobody drunk to that.
Actually,
No,
there was a
no,
few
no,
It
no,
people.
wasn't me.
Oh,
That nigga
really?
drunk to that.
Oh,
Monica drunk to that.
It's hard the first
Mike
time.
drunk to that shit.
And this ain't
Look at Mike
me.
face. Yeah, no, I fucking did.
Somebody did drink to that. Yes, he did.
Oh my
It
God.
wasn't me. But
Oh
somebody
my
did.
God. Huh?
I told you the initials
Oh, what was
already.
it? Hold up, Rob. I said, never ever have I done piss or scat play.
Shannon, did you drink to that?
What does that mean?
That means
Y'all don't even have toilet.
piss or shit in the bedroom
On a person.
on somebody.
Hold on. Are you still in the state
Nah.
where you had that kind of sexual play? That's the question.
I got my drink.
Oh,
What's the question?
Have you ever pissed or shit on a person in the bedroom?
What was it?
Doing the shit.
Have you
That's
ever
it.
pissed or shit on a person in the bedroom?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yo, somebody
Turn
drinking.
the camera off.
Saw somebody pull a glass to their mouth for the shit part.
Piss and piss on
Like,
somebody? Y'all drink
Yes.
piss?
Piss or
Who
shit on a
On
person?
somebody.
Who
however, you
drank
know
to
what they said.
piss?
You a nurse. You them handle some piss. Have you peed on somebody?
Who?
You. Heather.
No, I don't mess with people like piss. The piss.
Oh gosh, I don't know you the hell you. What do you
Hey,
mean?
son.
What's up? All right.
Nobody want no piss puss.
Oh.
Don't ever this down here. We
Yo,
gotta anything.
yo, you should have been got to.
Open that door. Open that door. Open this door. Just open it.
All right.
Let me clear
Sir,
out.
you want some fries?
Giving a golden shower.
I know it could be addicted.
All right.
Like, this is like I was
Never,
like
never,
people like
ever
that.
have, never. I know.
That's what
Never,
made R.
ever
Kelly
have I.
famous. Pause.
Never, ever have I. Well, shut up. Oh, you go upstairs hungry. Thank you.
Damn,
You should have
Stan.
ate already. Then it's 11 o'clock.
I know.
No, it's 6
I'm
motherfuckers.
already hungry.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Never, ever have I had sex in public.
Sex in public.
Go ahead,
She
Pam.
didn't drink it. She drank it. She
Yeah, that's about right.
She like it pressed down.
Pam came to drink.
She should be drunk right now.
Where did you have sex at, Heather? I mean, oh, I'm sorry. Donovan's down here.
All right. Here we go. Here we go.
Don't be like that. Don't be asking this type of questions. Nobody else ask this type of questions.
Here we go. Here we go.
All
Here
right,
we
she was
go.
asking Heather.
Here we go.
Oh, wait a minute.
Where's you at, Heather?
Hold on, I just want to take a sip.
Nobody else ask no questions.
This is
Nobody
at
asked what I got pissed on at. And nobody asked what I got pissed on at. Don't be asking no questions.
Oh my God.
Hey, I did the pissing.
Hold up. All right, here we go.
Where you get pissed on at, Shannon? Where you get pissed on at?
How about coconut water?
All right, here we go. Never ever have I
He left that question.
had a one night stand after the club or party. Period.
It's too much in the question. That's like 2 questions. Make it simple.
Damn, he took it to the head.
Shit. She did not drink.
Who ain't drinking that?
Heather.
Acting like they're doing something else. They're not paying attention to this question at
I
all.
will not incriminate myself.
Not a criminal.
Janet, go
Hey,
ahead.
she said you will not have me recorded on this saying that.
All right, here we go. All right, tier 2. Y'all ready?
Tier 2.
Tier 2.
I'm sweating.
Next. Never ever have I.
First, never have I ever.
Whatever. Never ever. I say whatever. Same thing. Ever. You ready? Eating ass.
I ain't never eat no ass. All y'all niggas take a drink. Y'all niggas take a drink. Ooh, I sipping. Who else is sipping? Who else is sipping?
Monica was
I'll be
like,
straight out the shower though.
Oh, man.
Like I gotta see it.
Monica,
See the ass water.
yes.
Monica, did you drink?
What I do in my
Donovan,
bedroom.
taking you upstairs. This is too much.
Yo, why Monica thing keep blowing up? Yo,
My cup is on the floor.
Oh man.
Monica took a drink.
My cup. No, I did not.
I know I'm not drinking all niggas ass different from a woman's ass. I'm not drinking all nobody nigga ass.
ass is an asshole.
No.
No,
Oh.
niggas ass.
I'm only drinking because I was just taking a sip. I didn't do that. I was just drinking off a GP. I did not do that.
That's why that's why you gotta go like this to take a sip. You gotta take a dip to take a sip.
Ladies who did not eat ass, I am with you all the salute. Is anything that put them in there? You know,
All
right.
no good. I just want to make sure that
Okay.
the top wasn't hot, but you gotta plug it back in there.
All right. Here we go. Oh God. All right.
Never. Do you the only one to get to give a never ever? No, nobody else.
Oh, you got one? Go ahead, Heather. Go ahead. Throw one out there.
No, I don't have one. Yeah,
Next
I'm just saying.
He's acting like the judge.
I'm not. Look, I'm
Last one in, you trying to Brody shit. What? I'm trying to run this, but I ain't got no question yet.
Yeah, he ain't
Got a
drinking nothing.
question, rough.
Never ever have I been involved in a threesome.
God damn it.
He said, "God damn it."
Oh, no, Monica.
We had 10.
Bitch, you better take that to the grave. Don't you sip that straw, nigga. I'll watch you.
Don't take it to the grave. We are truthful now. It's 2020.
Oh man.
Who all drink? I ain't seen everybody drink.
We know none of y'all running for office, so it ain't.
Michael Lee left.
No.
Ruff took 8 shots. I don't know what. I don't know if he's drinking or not. I personally don't even want to know.
No, I didn't drink.
The podcast is 1 on 8.
Are you full of
Your
shit?
story on the podcast is 1 on 8. So
What?
I got
Huh?
You haven't?
No, I haven't. Not. It wasn't. Nah.
What?
It was in college. It wasn't officially. No. It was.
Look at Shannon.
It was a half for one. What's a half for three?
Hey, time out.
People watching
Right now,
don't count.
the next words that come out your mouth will determine whether you will have your balls released tonight or will you be frustrated.
He got them things tightened up right now. Shannon got them on lock. Shannon kicking them under the table. Better not agree to this shit.
Now with my family on this live, now with my family on here, you would not.
I was in Europe.
All right.
That's how they do it.
Never ever have I. Never have
Ooh. Go ahead.
Been involved
Mike shouldn't have got off because it's
in anal.
In what?
Been
Anal sex.
Listen, I done been like black people at the White House a couple times running up in the back door. What the fuck?
I see you, Shannon.
Man, drink.
He acted like she ain't good talking.
You didn't just drink, you swallowed, honey.
Hey, Heather, I'm fixing my hookah right now. I gotta get my hookah together. I gotta fix my hookah
Somebody
right
said
now.
they mama taught them not to kiss and tell. They answered some of these questions.
Don't feel. Heather's porch is boring.
That's not even my porch.
Be like, never have I ever opened my eyes while I was drunk.
Hey, Dave, I need you
I would be like, I ain't do that.
Oh no.
Hey,
Nope.
Dave, I need you to repeat one more time. This is 2020. What happened? We supposed to be what? Doing what?
We're supposed to be up front and straight up. We ain't running for office.
Thank you.
All right. Never ever have I been busted.
I got my wife judging me right now.
Huh?
Never ever have I been busted masturbating.
They were busted by the kids. The kids are walking.
Fine.
That's some fucked up shit when your wife be like, I saw you.
No, hold up.
Like, I thought you was asleep.
Story time. Wait a minute, story time, right?
Oh, Lord.
So one time, when we first moved into this house, we had the computer by the
in the dining room,
right?
In the dining room, kids.
In the dining room. Listen.
The first floor.
And for some reason, I had the tightest drawers on in the history of the world. I was going to fucking work. I was
the
going
drawers
to
when
work.
got you there. The drawers.
Shannon came in the front door. I was going to work. And I couldn't stand up and pull my drawers up in time. I was like,
a home computer, not even a laptop.
I have drawn
a house computer.
But bare ass on his chair.
Nothing I can do, man. And she came in like, oh my God. I'm like, yo.
What we doing on our lunch break?
Yeah. Word. So I can do that. So Mrs. Know-It-All get busted one time, right?
I was not.
She was drunk, passed out with the toys still on. I was like, what the fuck is happening in here?
He had a murder
haircut in here. Who getting a
I know
haircut?
somebody was getting the shape up in the room.
This is funny as hell.
Bro.
Oh my God.
That's when this shit was good. The shit that made you pass out.
Oh my God.
I will never forget that day coming in this house and seeing this man at this full frontal computer. I'm like, you gonna wipe out the keyboard or anything? Like, we gotta do homework there. Like, this is weird.
I'm glad I never used the Saunders computer.
Damn. Chad, we ain't gonna skip over you passing out.
Yo, she was rocked. I'm like, what the hell? Yo,
Don't
it
drink
sound like somebody
and
getting
masturbate at the same time. They don't go together.
Yo, it sounded like somebody was getting a shape up in the room. I was like, yo, what the fuck is happening?
It started
Very
vibrating
young.
off the
It was
damn
before I had children. It was in my
It started
former life.
vibrating off the bed.
How am I looking at myself?
Not before we had
Hey, there you go.
Who's that?
Hey, he got light.
Why am I looking at myself?
All
Oh,
right, here we
there we
go.
go.
I never saw him being your friend before, Keith. Is he a friend or a podcast member?
All right,
That's my brother.
hold on.
He's a friend,
Brother.
family, and a podcast member.
Yeah.
Ruff, that's your brother?
All right. Never ever have I run the red light.
What?
Shit.
What?
So
Who's
gross.
red light?
Everybody done that.
What red light?
All right. Never ever have I.
They like
A red light?
Drake.
No, the red light, nigga.
The
You
red
know-
Oh,
light.
hell yeah, out there.
Between the feet.
Never ever have I.
Most of the time.
Y'all,
Never
Everybody-
ever
y'all
have
like,
I.
hold up. David
What?
and Mike really like that song. Like, they was really proud. Like, I'm gonna take this. I want everybody to see.
No, I'm not. I can't do it now because it looked like a sword fight in the shower. It looked like you just killed somebody and you're trying to clean the blood off.
I don't like
That is way too
I
much.
don't like spaghetti sauce on my penis.
Why I smell like
Oh,
business?
oh, oh, wait a
You
minute,
gotta
wait a minute.
I don't like
All right.
spaghetti sauce
Hey,
on
now
my
here,
penis.
wait a minute. Here's the even worse one though.
What's
up, gang?
Yo, what up? We in the middle of a never ever have I game, Morel.
You gotta
Oh, my
drink.
goodness.
Yeah, so
You
listen.
gotta
mac and cheese.
All right, so here we go. Here's the bigger one though, right?
Pizza.
Never ever have I run the red light or had the red light ran head first.
No.
Oh, hell no.
What you mean, with or without a condom?
Oh,
No,
you talking about the car?
You talking about go down? You talking about go down?
Where's that?
Are you saying no?
Has anybody ever run the red light with their tongue or had it run?
No, hell no.
With your head first.
No.
That's a different type of nasty.
Hold on, would you a red light in the car? Yeah.
You don't have a murder scene around your lips.
They knew or not, but I don't know if they knew or not, but
Nah.
Y'all period's too strong. Y'all period's too strong over here. Y'all period's is too strong. My period ain't like that. Y'all period's is too strong. Damn, let's talk about the whole room bloody and shit. Y'all period's is
I
too
mean,
strong.
that's on you if you don't check first. I gotta do
I'm
that.
mad. I got an attitude.
Doctor's appointment.
For a week.
You said you had a doctor's appointment.
Oh,
Y'all period's too strong.
mm.
Y'all older too. Y'all period shouldn't be that strong no more. Come on.
Ooh.
Oh, Halloween 50. I mean,
Hey,
some of us are not 50.
No,
Keep
shit.
going
Y'all is
So if y'all
crazy.
period still be strong like y'all 13 and shit. Boy.
Worse.
How long you had a period?
Worse.
Why your period still that heavy?
Oh, here we go. This. Hold up.
Not while your period's still that heavy.
Here we go. Never ever have
I think y'all periods like that. I don't got periods like that.
never have I ever had
Got the ball.
I feel it already.
no. Had a sexual experience with someone of the same sex.
What?
What? You get like
Hey, laughing. What are
Wait a
y'all
minute.
thinking? This is-
Yo.
What? He said,
You talking about threesomes.
no,
There's a
not
lot
a
of women
threesome.
ain't
Threesome is
laughing.
different.
Nah, I'm cool.
Heather
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Heather left.
Have a
this
laugh. Have said, fuck this shit.
Like, I'm out there. Fuck that shit.
Are we talking about three
Why y'all
I know y'all all ran the Trisman.
Yeah, exactly. Christmas
Yeah,
Day.
we already. Never ever have I flashed someone.
Black.
Like how?
For a man would
paid to do that, nigga.
Man would
I know, right?
What the hell are men flashing?
You flashed somebody before?
Hey, what you talking about?
Oh yeah, that's true.
You see how them girls act in them damn strip clubs?
Oh, you talking about
on
who?
the forehead with a penis.
Well, you talking about if you talking about flashing your wife, that's somebody.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
I got these safe ass answers.
That was
Never
safe
have I.
shit, yo. He got a lawyer by it. That was the safest answer ever.
You said he got a lawyer.
Smart man, smart man.
Never
Hey,
ever
Shannon
had.
say that.
Never ever had I had your ass played with.
Fuck no. Oh, excuse my language, Morgan. You gotta go see.
I mean,
Oh, he said, "Oh me, no." He said,
I try everything once.
No, that's not manly like no.
like, you know.
I have a question. I'm gonna ask this question.
what's the what is the
two
question?
people who tried, and remember I told you on the podcast.
It's not for
the
straight guy.
both of them.
There was no
I wasn't with this shit.
No penetration. No.
I wasn't.
If anybody played with your balls, 9 times out of 10, a finger hit your ass.
No, if you gotta think about it, if you gotta think about it, it happened. No.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
That's right, Marab. You gotta think about it. It happened.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
No, I've had 2 females who've attempted to eat my ass, and it didn't turn out too well for either one of them. Out of both of them.
He said, "I love it." Oh shit!
You farted on them? How come it didn't end well?
I said because I
did chin dribble
out of both of them.
That shit not freaky. I don't care how freaky it is.
I'm not with the overhead.
You remember Pinnacle?
They talking that bullshit.
It was a TV newscaster, and they said they had.
All right, so here we go. Here we go. This is for everybody. Never ever have.
No sex.
Never ever have I
Next question.
had your tween licked or lick tween, which is the taint.
Huh?
When you lick ass, you lick tween.
Hell yeah.
What?
There's a difference.
Oh, I gotta refill my shot.
Mike gonna be squashed in this shit.
He done filled up his glass 3 times.
Y'all don't got no proof for that.
And I'm at like half a cup right now.
Monica, why you looking like that?
You be drunk.
Ooh.
All right.
I don't want to play the game no more.
Right out
That's
of
why Heather logged out. Heather's ghost.
Never ever have I been tied up.
I didn't like it at all.
Y'all niggas thirsty as hell.
I ain't like it at all.
Love it.
Shannon too lazy to tie somebody up.
It's funny, but I was just talking to somebody about that. But.
Oh yeah.
Look at Risha. It's couples. This couple's never ever had that.
Oh, y'all married couples.
Hey, Risha.
Like that bullshit.
No, man.
Heather's back.
I don't need to
Oh
feel
man.
like Kinde.
Heather was playing with that butt.
It happened.
I'm back.
You back?
Somebody said Chuck was playing with that butt when he was gone.
Oh shit. She said now I can drink.
That means yes.
My best friend's house.
Look, she took a drink
Oh
when she got
man.
back too.
Never ever. All right, here we go. Never ever have I shaved the privates of the opposite sex.
Oh shit.
No, you got it.
Now,
That shit happened a long time.
that one. Do it.
Y'all got an appointment tomorrow at 9 o'clock if you shaving privates. I need an appointment. They're trying to shut down.
This
I
shit
need an
happened.
appointment.
This shit happened in high school.
I need an
I
appointment if
couldn't
you
believe it.
shave privates. I mean, I'm sorry.
Danny, you got to
What
give you an uptown
man shave? A man
uptown thing.
he'll put the shave all his hair off unless he getting surgery.
You shave somebody's private?
I did.
I've done that.
shit was
Yeah,
the
that's cool.
Your private sis? Not act like you don't remember.
It wasn't my
It wasn't her. It was
I'm gonna take Mike, take the shot. You think it's too hard, Mike. Take the shot.
Shave design. Yo, I used to actually shave my initials and females.
You said what?
He used to shave his initials and females private.
I would shave like
That's out of
And
pocket.
I had to some craftsmanship. You gotta have some spaceship when you save your
Oh,
initials.
man.
never ever show.
So who drank to that?
I guess that. When my baby mom was pregnant, I used to shave her stuff for her.
You can't
Your mom.
You gotta hook her
Rob
up.
said he saved his mom.
I said, baby mom. My daughter.
I thought he said his mom too. I was like, hold up.
A lot of people are saying that person when they make pregnant.
Baby's child's mother, my daughter's mom. You couldn't see it, so, because I still wanted to taste it, and I wasn't doing that Wolfgang shit, so I had to clean it up.
Yeah, that shit in your mouth like that.
Yo,
Never ever have I been caught by a parent or guardian.
It's something else. It's something else.
Sandy caught you,
Monica's drinking. I don't see Monica.
Sandy caught you. It better have been Marcella. If it was on Sandy, I don't even know how I feel about our relationship moving forward. You better say it was Marcella. It better not have been on Sandy. It better have been Marcella's.
I had to walk the girl home.
Your childhood crush?
No, I didn't have sex with my childhood crush.
No, I said your childhood crush because your cousin got caught by her mom.
Heather drank?
My mom too.
I ain't fucking drank. I'm trying to adjust my settings. I don't know what y'all talking about.
I ain't
Trying to adjust your setting.
Besides when she went and got her ass ate. And then
My husband is not here to defend himself.
Glazed donut. I got caught face first by my mom.
Never ever have I sent nudes.
so,
Oh shit! Oh shit!
You said nude. You said.
Hey, Dave, why you ain't take a picture? Take a shot.
what did he say?
Sent
I'm gonna
nudes.
watch Monica. I'm gonna see what Monica
You
does.
may never send me no nude.
I ain't never sent you no nudes.
That was normal.
That's inappropriate. I need a nude and a shave tomorrow.
A nude and a shit.
Pause.
You got a weed
You
with
want a
a
new picture?
Time out. Y'all have never sent each other nudes?
I sent him nudes. He's never sent me none.
Well, you ain't drink, Shannon.
Some pictures.
I
Of
did
your,
drink.
Drunk.
you better send us some pictures of your PP, nigga.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Work truck. I need work truck nudes on Monday.
Randomly.
She don't want no picture from
See
Keith.
him with a bundle of uniform shirts, butt naked.
Capture. See your PP to your wife.
Save it. I'm just a joke.
Thank you, Ruff. I would appreciate some nudes.
Send your PP to your wife,
With
man.
them glasses and that
Picture
hat
of
on,
some
butt
nudes.
naked.
What's wrong with you?
Hey,
Not
it's the
sending
pop
no
up on your
nudes to
phone,
your
I like
wife, man.
What you say, Heather?
picture.
You wanna, he missed the pop up by lunch, shade or unshade?
Why you
Where you want him to
All right.
Why not?
She's
Never.
be ready for your ass to come home, nigga.
All right, hold up. Here we
That's
go.
right.
Never ever have I watched the porn and tried to mimic what I saw on the porn.
Yeah, right. Everybody's a young boy. Fuck you, nigga.
Around pull a hamstring.
Kiana drinking in the background.
Wait a minute, how the fuck you get around here?
I see you right now. Take a sip. I know your ass. Listen,
I mean, I'm just drink. I never tried to do that, but
Oh shit!
All right, I got three more.
Did you get my text?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Never,
I was checking my phone like, no, I ain't get it.
never ever have I
I text both of y'all.
pulled a muscle or got a Charlie horse during sex.
Oh my god!
Oh, you want to work right nothing?
I ain't drink enough water.
It happens.
What was the question?
Look, try to get some.
Never ever have I pulled a
back
muscle
that-
or gotten a Charlie horse during sex.
I pulled the wig off and it was funny.
Kiana drinking.
That's every
Like
man.
every time. Hold on. I knew about it.
Woo!
If you're an athlete, you done pulled something having sex.
I ain't pulled nothing having sex.
Who said that?
I ain't never pulled nothing.
That means you must be. That means you stretch every time. Then.
No, I just.
Nope.
I just.
I don't want to see the motion, Rob. I don't need to see the sex motion. I don't need to see the sex motion, Rob.
I'm 30 years. I'm 30 plus years.
Here we go. No one. Never ever have I said or done something so offensive during sex that it stopped it dead in its tracks.
Yeah, like put your finger in a man's ass. Yeah.
Never mind.
Never ever have I said or done anything so offensive during sex that it stopped the sex dead in its tracks.
Oh, said something or did something?
Said or did something during sex that was so offensive.
I've said some fly ass shit, but the shit
you try to stick it in your butt and they don't give you consent. Yeah,
I don't think so.
No,
that shit.
Does it count?
I asked the question.
Like run up on the front car seat.
You don't remember that for 20 fucking years?
Whoa!
What happened?
He was like, bitch, and pulled her hair.
He was like, fuck you, bitch. I was like,
bitch.
Who you calling a bitch? I'm tired, man.
This ain't weed.
Don't pull my pony, nigga.
That's why he had the question.
You love me slapping my ass. You can punch my
I
ass.
can't even reveal my business.
But you know, this my real hair. Don't pull that nigga.
That's how it goes.
Exactly, Morel.
You know how much I paid for this?
Grab
All
that
right.
hair from my back.
Here we go. And this goes for everybody because it can happen to men too.
No.
All right. It can with females too. But never ever have I
Fake orgasms.
No. Never ever have I swallowed.
What? Hermie?
Swallowed.
They ain't going fucking man.
Ain't shit in Monica's glass.
They don't go for none of the men on this
Monica's mine.
She swallowed it.
It don't go for none of the men in this party.
Was it like on purpose or was it like a?
It was
So you like a girl squirt?
Real shit.
Yeah, like.
Was it like bam or was it like like
pause? If a man is enjoying a woman,
my son is in this kitchen right now. I'm trying to.
Right.
Who's talking?
Yo.
Wait, who's talking?
So we done tasted the woman.
Donna, he done heard everything.
That's what I'm taking the chat to.
I'm trying to cover the screen, Shan.
Donna been like, Mom, Dad, go ahead and drink.
He's walking up the steps now.
I sound like a grown man, so you be like, "Are you mature enough for
All
this
right,
conversation?"
this the last one.
I would like to do one.
All right. Let me do this last one, and I'll let you have one.
Okay.
Never ever have I caught a kid, one of your kids, or nieces or nephews.
Watching?
That was just disgusting.
What'd you say? What'd you say? I ain't hear you.
Have you ever caught one of your kids diddling themselves?
Aaron,
you said what?
Come on, the boy.
Yeah.
Oh, you said? Did you say?
I don't want it to be a question.
Oh no, he wasn't the master.
A new last question. A new last.
I never did none of. I never caught Donovan, but I damn sure.
No, you should have said. You should have said. Haven't ever your kids ever catch y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
that topic.
He wasn't here.
That's a given. Nah, I tell you that.
You asked that. No, you asked him if you caught your kids masturbating or having sex.
Masturbating.
Oh no, I ain't only drinks that.
Nope.
We need a new last topic. A new last
My
topic.
DVDs is missing though.
I know.
Okay.
No.
What's your question?
Shannon, what's yours?
And you come home and your daughter and her girlfriend been watching this shit, but they act like they ain't been watching it. Well, your stepdaughter and your girlfriend been watching this shit. And you,
I don't know what type of household y'all running over there.
Y'all remember back in the day, you used to find a porno and had to rewind it back to the right location.
Okay, I got one.
My shit's not fair.
Next question.
Never ever have I had sex in another person's bathroom?
In another person's bathroom or bedroom?
I'm glad
Look at Monica ain't got shit to drink and ice
That's
so cold.
crazy.
Yeah, Monica.
I'm about to refill my cup.
Was that time you was at the White House?
I'm not refilling.
What are we talking about?
Monica was at the White House at one time?
I'm still drinking.
Reverend Charlie.
Ain't nothing in there but ice. But yeah, I need to
Another
drink.
person's bathroom.
College, one of y'all.
Another, not your bathroom, somebody else's bathroom.
All right, yo, you know what I love? The fact that took almost an hour. So check this out, right? We're gonna go right into a topic that we wanted to talk about.
Is it grown folks?
Oh, it's very, very grown folks, my good brother. Brother Numsi. Very good, brother Numsi. Very,
Brother Numsi.
Check it out. So we read an article. We're gonna talk about this on the podcast tomorrow. We read an article and saw some memes and some things about polygamy.
About what? Polygamy?
Polygamy. Whereas it was a bunch of guys on there and they had 2 wives. And they did a don't rush challenge polygamy version.
Oh, wow.
Yo, that shit was
that
crazy.
one where everybody was out of shape?
Oh my God. They
Was
were
that out of shape challenge?
Or
Everybody
polygon.
was out of shape?
Or polygamy.
Both, but not all right, Monica. See, Monica knows what she's talking about.
That out of shape challenge was crazy.
So polygamy, for y'all that don't know, polygamy is 2 wives, 1 man. What's the other one? Polygamy is what? That's 2 men, 1 wife, right?
Yes.
All right.
That's what all Muslims
Not
do.
necessarily 2 wives, but yeah, 2 women, 1
So
man.
that's the only thing I don't like about polygamy is that every time you see it, it's 2 women and 1 man. I think that if it's polygamy, it should be an equal thing. Like if we're gonna have polygamy, then it should be 2 men, 2 women.
Polygamy can be 2 men.
Because it's 2 women.
I mean, 2 men and 1 woman. But how many men going for?
So what's the topic?
All right. So one at a time. One at a time. I'm gonna take it. All right. Kelly, you go first.
That's not American.
I know, but it's a democracy.
It's not.
Listen.
Why is it not American?
When you think
keep
wait, he had to say that. I need to hear the question. I need to hear people's answers.
A lot of
Put it in a chat box.
Aren't American. We deal with Americanized things because we're American. And so we're used to how they've adjusted things, but we don't always look at how things were before, over here, the colonized, 13 colonies became America.
Yup.
So
Put it in a chat box.
all this is look at the bigger picture.
I live in Georgia.
All right, so who's answering the topic first?
Hey,
Kelly, go first.
Kelly.
What is Kelly going for? What am I saying? What am I answering?
When you saw this, what did you think of as far as the polygamous side of things?
When I saw the video, because I sent it to them, they look like some regular ass niggas, and I'm trying to figure out how like super regular
ass niggas.
So regular niggas can't have 2 wives?
Not niggas.
That's not my expectation.
Can I speak?
I'm just saying, when you're thinking about a man that have obviously talked 2 women into being in this relationship with him, it's something that,
So if you find that one nigga
that bank account,
but he got a lady and they want to bring you in on the situation, would you do that?
Fuck yeah, she would.
Oh, she drinking.
Oh shit!
I gotta raise my hand. But
I
polygamy
actually just had this conversation with someone,
Mm-hmm.
and the only question they asked me for real was, if that happened, would you be having sex with the woman? And I'm like, no.
Exactly, because polygamy doesn't mean that it's a threesome.
Right.
It means that we get to share a man. It doesn't mean a threesome.
Absolutely.
No, they just share. It's not a threesome.
So I feel like
It's not a
polygamy,
threesome.
in the aspect of where it came from, and the Mormon tradition and the Mormon religion and how they live,
as Amish people serve this purpose. So you kind of needed multiple wives to do multiple chores, even though there was still one man. They look at their man almost like a God, a savior. He is everything. So in that setting, polygamy works for them because there's so much that needs to be done, and that's why they have all those kids and all those wives. Now, a modern day marriage and how we live with that working math household, no, I should be woman enough for this household, and you man enough to hold it down. Now, if we lived in that setting, in that time frame, in that era, you might need multiple wives to do multiple things to serve multiple purposes. And yes, y'all all gonna sleep with that man because that's y'all God. That's y'all man.
Right. Well, polygamy is heavy in the Musa.
And polygamy is usually multiple wives, not just 2 wives. Now you got 3 and 4 and 5 wives, not just 2, and they all serve a different purpose.
You can take care.
And then not only that, sometimes the husband serves a purpose as being that provider and that protector. Because I know, like polygamy, the men are marrying these women just to be able to provide for them and protect them and take care of them, just on their sole purpose. You know, like a protector, a provider.
Right. So it goes a lot deeper than like the physical and the sex and are y'all all sleeping together.
I think,
it's a whole lot more than just that.
Hold on. One at a time.
The way it's supposed to work is, like, I think back then the man did take care of all the women.
The whole
today, I think it's more of a financial business almost. Because
it's more like a business.
Like Utah and stuff, these people don't have no rinky-dink houses.
Right. So it's more like a corporation. We enter this business agreement, not a marriage.
All right, so let me ask you a question.
But wait, I'm going next.
Go ahead.
I feel like this. I'm just talking about the video a little bit.
Okay.
I feel like them niggas is weak as hell. That's how I feel like. I feel like nobody had their face shaped up, nothing. And I feel like the women
had the clippers like the trimmer drawers like you about to clean up, right?
I feel like those. Wait, I'm not done. Listen, I feel like those women maybe had low self-esteem because, as Kelly was saying, I wasn't turned on by any of the men, and that would be a problem. Would I live that type of marriage or relationship? I wouldn't, because for one, I think I could do all the jobs.
I'm selfish.
I think I could do all the jobs, and I don't think you should need nobody else to do the jobs. And what is my job going to be when y'all in the bedroom from 7 to 10? What is my job going to be? So I feel like I couldn't live no threesome life or nothing like that. And I have been approached plenty of times with the idea, but I'm sitting there like, okay, what do you need me here for again? Because what's my job? What's everybody's role in this affair here? Because my role is not going to be going down on no lady, because that's not my forte. That couldn't be my role. So I feel like I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to do that. I like a one-on-one session.
Right. But that's what
like a one-on-one session.
That sounds so right, but that's not how reality is. I think that's just how we are in America. When you go to other
not American.
When we go out to different countries and you start experiencing different things, it's more than that. See, we all focusing on the sexual part of it. Like I said, most of the time in those polygamy relationships, the woman and the women don't do anything together.
Right.
It's just the man and the woman. And I don't really necessarily, it's just their religious belief. Just like Islam, they do it all the time.
All the time.
4, 5, 6 wives.
Oh, and the Amish guys. Don't forget about the Amish.
But in Africa, our ancestors does that. Our ancestors does that.
Right. All right. So go ahead. Go ahead, Shannon.
About this fact, right?
Hold on, Mike.
Okay, so I have a friend of mine who was in a polygamous relationship, and I think the problem is that when you try to take these ideas that maybe were traditional or were from another culture, and you try to bring them into mainstream, we as Americans some of us were not born to or not made to embrace that. So I feel like even though the friend of mine I'm speaking of, she was in a polygamous relationship and she embraced the kids, she embraced her role, but the first wife couldn't take that. So like when she got elevated and things got put on her name and stuff, the wife got really defensive because it was like, well, you're an extra counterpart. You shouldn't have the things I had. So I feel like sometimes as Black women, for us, it's hard to take that hierarchy because we're always trained to be first. We're trained to be number one. So it's hard to play that place where you're the first wife, you're the second wife, you're the third wife, because when you start getting privileges of what is quote unquote the first wife, it's hard, which I think is the reason why it doesn't work the opposite way around. Like I couldn't have 3 husbands. It doesn't work like that. Like
so Shay, let me ask you a question. Was it a schedule for her though?
Yes, they had a schedule. Damn. So it was like a certain number of days of the week. Then she would be with the husband, and then a certain number of days of the week, this other one would be the husband, and they all lived in the same house. But I think the thing that got messed up is because the friend I'm speaking of was all about the polygamy life, but the first wife wasn't. My associate, she was coming into a family.
What y'all done got me in?
She was coming to this family. And
even
though she
what's going on, y'all?
Oh, somebody talking.
Yo, we was just talking about. But no. So all right, so let me chime back in on this for 1 second, right?
Okay, because I got a question for
right, I'm gonna let you go for. I'm gonna let you go, Kelly. But let me chime back in this 1 second. I'm gonna let you get on this, Risha too. Listen.
If you're not talking, put your phone on mute.
Yeah, just mute because we can only talk one at a time. I want to get everybody's opinion on this. All right, so look, the first thing that we started talking. Don't worry about it. I'll mute it for you. It's not a big deal. What I'm talking about is, remember the first thing that y'all said was when we talk about people like in Idaho and Nebraska and all these mid-American countries and whatnot, in the which that where polygamy and you know all this kind of takes place big time. You know what I mean? And that's the things that they believe in. The issue is, the reason why it's that way is because you have to remember, in Middle America and whatnot, regardless of what you think, poor is a little bit different a lot of times. So even when you start to look at it, even when you look at it from a middle class level of what these people are accustomed to, you know what I'm saying? They still have a thing about them that kind of works for them. They can afford a certain amount of houses. They can afford a certain amount of things.
So wait a minute.
At a certain level.
What part of the question are the people answering today? Is it will it work for you in your relationship?
What's your opinion?
We can't. Well, rough.
I don't think it's about if it works for you. I think it's more about if you have an understanding of what it is, rather than just saying somebody else ain't gonna be fucking my man. Or if you look at it like, okay, this is a different type of partnership. See, I think that's what happens. People look past the reasons why and look at what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, Kelly. Go ahead. What you saying?
My question for Shan was, with your friend that was in the relationship, how was she even able to get into the relationship if wife number one wasn't down for that?
Because they don't always need that permission.
Okay. So what happened was, so the guy was already married and they developed this relationship. And she said, hey, listen, I'm not really for this like side shit. Like, we either gonna talk to your wife about this and see where this goes, because him and his wife had already been having conversations about bringing another person in. So when she started liking the guy and they started liking each other, before anything happened, she said, listen, I need to talk to your wife about this because I'm not comfortable with being this like side chick. So they all had a meeting, they talked to the wife. She said she was cool with it and welcomed it. She moved into the people's house and everything. And it turns up being months and months and months and months and years later that the wife wasn't okay with it. But I feel like at the time she was trying to appease something that she had talked to about with her mate. And so when, you know, my associate joined this relationship, it was under false pretenses because my associate knew exactly what was happening. But the wife said she was down with it, but really wasn't. So I feel like my associate was more kind of hurt because it was like, well, listen, we supposed to be a family, we're supposed to be raising our kids, it's supposed to be a unit, and you came into this with false pretenses trying to please somebody else not really about what this is supposed to be about.
Not really game with it.
She
wasn't really about it from the beginning, but she stated so to make her mate happy.
Right.
So that states part of where the problem was right now, because if she stated, like, unfortunately, don't judge me, the average black woman, I ain't with that shit.
But see, I don't think it was that. But I think it was that if I'm comfortable already being a second chick, if I'm comfortable being a side chick.
She's talking about the number one. She's talking about the number one, though. She's talking about the number one.
My associate, the counterpart, was okay with it.
Yeah.
Number one wasn't okay, but she made it seem like she was until it actually happened. So when it actually happened, it was a very long time later that it ended up breaking up, because she said, well, I may have said these things, but I really wasn't okay with it. And it was like, well, why stay and do these things and have me bring this extra person in if you really wasn't okay with it?
Because wait, let me say something right quick. Because the number one probably already knew that her husband was cheating on her. So she loved her husband so much that she was willing to do something that she didn't want to do in order to keep him. And being the number two, being a side chick, I'm already a side chick. I already only see your husband on Monday, Friday, and sometimes on Sunday.
She wasn't. So let me straighten this out. She wasn't the side chick. When they started developing this relationship, the turn from a friendship into a relationship, she said, I'm not going to be the side chick. If we can't develop something else, we got to part ways. So she wasn't the side chick. They had a friendship.
So they never had sex before the wife?
No.
Oh, so number two came number one. That's really what happened.
I think that's what happened.
Number two never had sex before this situation became a situation?
No, number two never slept with the guy. When it started looking like it was going to be something, number two said, hey, listen, I'm not okay with this because it seems like this is hitting in this direction. So I don't want to be this way. So he said, well, listen, me and my wife have been talking about it in a third party. So are you okay with that? She said, okay, I'm open. Let's
I think they had sex
number
first.
one.
Number
one played this whole thing, but she was okay with it.
The first
Can I
week.
tell you something? Can I tell you something?
And she was like, no, listen.
But listen. On the other side,
regular nigga.
Wait, one at a time. Risha, go ahead. Risha, go ahead. Go ahead.
On the flip side, you gotta look at it from another point of view. I have people that I know personally that are in, polygamous marriages and relationships.
Right.
Not always the woman doing what the man is asking. I know family members who don't even want that commitment, who don't even want to be tied to a man 24/7. And it's okay. It is very okay. We're not living with this man. We're just seeing this man 2 or 3 times a week, living on her own and being okay.
So why she get married?
It's not
they get married.
Because for religion reasons,
okay,
you can only have sex if you're married.
So that begs the question. Hold on, wait. So 1 second.
So therefore, they're married.
Mm-hmm.
But she's totally okay with living in her own house.
And that's the only person she ever had sex with?
Yes, because technically she's married, so she can't commit adultery by sleeping with someone else.
So that begs the question.
Somebody in her space 24/7.
No, so not to cut y'all off. So that begs the question, because I asked this a couple weeks ago on the podcast. Hope all of y'all tuned into the podcast. Are side chicks / side niggas necessary?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I'm happy married, but I'm gonna say yes. In some situations, they are
necessary.
Like I'm playing with
somebody else, and I want you to be aware of it.
Why side chicks a necessity?
Listen, I'm asking. That's the reason I'm asking y'all. I really want a straight up answer.
Is it a want? It could be a want, but it's not a necessity.
All right, hold on. Y'all going ape shit now. Wait. Let me chill. One at a time. I'm gonna start from the bottom. But I love you.
Start with me. Start with me.
All right, Heather, give me one paragraph. Why or why not?
Let's know it on mute. Everybody but Heather.
Yeah, everybody but Heather. I want to hear what Heather has to say.
What's the question again?
Are side chicks / side niggas necessary?
I feel like they're unnecessary. I feel like, hold on, my phone. I feel like they're unnecessary.
Can't hear it all.
Can you hear me?
Who's that? Somebody.
That's Heather.
I can't hear it all.
Okay. I feel like.
All right.
I feel like they are unnecessary, and I feel like they're unnecessary because it is like it's like kind of like a biased opinion. Because would you be okay? Do you feel like they're necessary for your wife? No. But the men always feel like it's necessary for them, so I feel like it's unnecessary. I feel like threesomes is an easy way to say that I want to sleep with somebody else, but I want you to be aware of it. So if I bring you into it, then you're aware of it. You can't really say I'm cheating. So I feel like it's unnecessary. I feel like me as your wife, you married me for a reason, and you should be sexually, mentally, physically satisfied with me. And if you cannot be all that with me, then maybe you need to marry somebody else. I don't feel like it's necessary. I can't tell you that, okay, Keith, you stay home tonight because I'm going to go ride James's dick tonight. So you need to be okay with that. And I will be home.
Damn.
I will take a bath.
Who the fuck is Mr. James?
So when I return, and if you need a little something maybe tomorrow when I'm done and unswollen, I can handle you. No, I feel like it is unnecessary.
I'm unswollen though?
Because if I'm going out,
what up, boss?
If I'm going out with the side, I'm gonna go out with a bang. So yes, when I become unswollen with the Epsom salt and the hot bath water, well, you know, matter of fact, nigga, you had my bath water ready when I come.
I know. All right, so wait, Heather, wait. All right, before we get started, my man Black, welcome Black. We talking about polygamous relationships right now. You know what I'm saying? Just you can't hear me at all. Yo, you gonna have to probably have to go out and then rejoin.
Hey, Keith.
Go out. He can't hear me now.
Yeah, Keith, it's side pieces is something with somebody missing out the relationship. That's all what it is. That's all it is.
Now, what are they missing, Morel? What do you think they missing?
Everybody here.
I said that's why they cheat, because it's something they missing.
What they missing?
It might not be nothing they missing.
That's the whole point.
No.
But see, I
don't agree with that. You ain't got to be missing nothing.
I'm just saying, why cheat?
No, in the same house. Go ahead.
I don't feel like that. I might feel like James.
You don't need to miss nothing. You can just go.
I didn't say I'm missing something. I said, why cheat then?
Since we've been on this continent, our grandparents and all had side pieces. So
shit, our grandparents, our grandparents had side pieces.
But I know my grandparents had side pieces. And
you're right. Look at everybody's family tree. They all got different last names.
It's because somebody had a side piece. Side pieces keep some relationships. I'm not saying all relationships, but some relationships won't last 40 years if they didn't have that side piece.
Hear me?
Yeah.
Who that, Barack Obama?
Go ahead, Mike. What you think? What Vlad, nigga, tell us. Yes.
Oh, shit.
I'm not the person to ask about side pieces.
Why? Why is that?
Because I don't have a baby.
Oh, okay. Have you been a side piece, Mike?
Huh?
Have you been a side nigga?
Yeah. I've been a side nigga. I had side pieces.
Right.
Well, let me go next.
All right, share this shit.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, and this whole thing about side pieces, here's my thoughts about it. I don't agree with side pieces, yet I don't disagree with Sean Strands. I've been married to Keith for my entire life. But here's what I think. I think that as young girls, and I had this conversation with somebody else before, I think our idea of love and partnership is so much different. The same thing goes for men. I think that when you're a young girl, you're taught your wedding day is so great. You're supposed to wear this dress. You're supposed to be committed to this one person. It's supposed to be wonderful. Yet in reality, that's not the way it is. What I've learned in my 32 years on this earth is that
you 40.
Shut up, fucking Morel. Mute Morel. Mute Morel.
Lying? She's like 39.
And mute David Saunders as well, whoever he is. Mute David Saunders. So no, but in real talk, what I feel like is that we haven't learned to be partners with each other, because marriage is a lot more than sex. It's a lot more than bills. It's a lot more than kids.
Amen.
No, and I feel
Amen.
like, no, this is just me and my own personal thoughts as I've grown.
Are you talking about married people? Just
you don't necessarily quote unquote need a side piece, but I feel like everybody needs something to
outlet.
Outlet. So if your outlet is shopping, if it's drugs, if it's food, if it's a side piece, everybody needs an outlet. So when you're committed to another person, you have to figure out what that outlet is going to be. If it's going to be another person, then it's going to be another person. If it's going to be shopping, it's going to be shopping. It's going to be ice cream, it's going to be ice cream. I feel like that we as people, we've grown up with this idea of love and relationships. And when a person doesn't meet that, we immediately start looking for the next person to meet that, because it's just in our DNA. That's how we're built. If Keith is not meeting my whatever need, then I'm going to go look for this whatever need at Marv's Love too. That's just the way it works. You know what I mean? That was a joke. And I'm a comedian. Stop it.
Monica.
Don't call Monica yet.
Oh, Monica, because I want to hear what Monica thinks about it. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm ready for
Monica. So in closing, my point is that I don't think side pieces per se are necessary, but I feel like everybody needs some sort of outlet of some sort. And sometimes we confuse this outlet with our relationship. We might need another outlet, but since our mate is lacking, we look for this in another mate instead of looking for something else to that need that we had.
Okay, got it.
Those feelings get misconstrued in the second situation, because you think that the second situation is giving you everything you need, where they're just giving you what you need at this moment. It's not anything that's going to sustain you. This is just, if you, that 80-20 rule, this is that 20 that you're missing. Yeah. And so you got that 80 at home, this is that 20 you missing, you put it together and you feel whole, when you could be feeling whole at home if you just.
I think that's why men don't mature until they a little older.
Monica, what do you think?
A little older, y'all mature till y'all 76.
I agree, I think I was a serial player, so I know. But after
someone asked who said that shit, and I said, "Can't he?"
Oh, so I think at a certain point as a man, you realize that little 20% we was just talking about that we thought we need, we don't have to get that from some other person. And that's when you learn how to commit to that one person, and then you find that other outlet in whatever. It could be exercise, it can be anything. But you find it a different way instead of cheating.
Can I say something a little bit before we get to Monica? Because I know Monica, that's just the one thing. But I feel like, I mean, I had my share of the fun life in my times being here.
You didn't know that.
And I feel like that the way me and Chuck did it before we got married, because we had both been in different relationships and things like that, Chuck came up with the situation where we weren't going to have sex until we got married. And that was the beginning stages of it. It didn't last until we got married, but at first, that's what it was. The first couple months. Just be quiet and listen. You have to be quiet and listen. So Monica, get to her point. I feel like that exposed me to a different side of him, because
How long y'all last before y'all had sex? I gotta be an asshole to ask this question.
Ask the questions at the end, Ruff. Ask the questions at the end. So let me get to my point. But my point is that it turned my mind into something that was different, because you meet somebody, you like them, you're physically attracted to them, you have sex with them, boom, y'all feel like y'all got it together, y'all locked in, y'all want to be with each other. But when he turned me on to something different that was, well, let's not have sex before we get married, it made me know him in a different fashion, whereas though sex was not the number one thing in our relationship to make us bond. It was other things before that. And I found it weird that a man would even request that from me. But I felt privileged to know that somebody wanted to know me in a different light. They wanted to see me differently before we got to that stage of it. So I feel like at the end, if you're out here cheating and you're out here having sex with somebody because you're not feeling needed or wanted, or your sexual desires aren't being served, then you got to look within yourself, because marriage is more than that. What happens when you get 80 and your shit don't work no more, and she ain't gonna wipe your ass no more, and that slinging that dick ain't gonna work no more? So you have to look at something in a different light where it's more than sex. Have the conversation. Say that I would like you to bend over a little bit more during this time. I would like you to go down more during this time, and have that conversation so your sexual desires can get fulfilled. That's all I'm saying. Right. You're going out here cheating with Shakita and you end up with herpes. Now what? Now your herpes ass bring it home to your wife. Your wife, she ain't having sex with you no more because now you got herpes.
Got you. All right, Monica. I need to hear from Monica. Monica.
You stuck with them for that.
Don't act like I can still see your hair. Hold on. All right, I need to hear from Monica though, because Monica hasn't spoken, so I want to hear what she's saying. Go ahead.
Okay. When it comes to a side piece, they are not a necessity. But from my experience, one of the things that a side piece does is that they provide something different that they're not getting at home.
Absolutely right.
And you have so many relationships that their foundation is very weak. They go into finding someone else who can strengthen, who may even be stronger than their primary mate. But you're not going to leave your primary mate overall for your side piece. So that side piece comes in, and they come in and they kind of provide a different type of area or a different zone for the man. So it's kind of like, all right,
different outlet.
Wait a minute, you don't have to be a man.
Say that again.
It ain't just a man.
Women have side pieces.
I'm saying in my perspective.
Right.
So my thing is that, so what y'all saying is that in so many words, y'all saying that side pieces are necessary.
No, I damn sure ain't say that.
Now, I'm not saying that you said that.
I'm not saying they necessary. I say in some relationships, especially our older relationships with our grandparents, they was necessary.
No, we're talking about the relationships now. We're not talking about grandparents.
Even no, Heather. But even now, though.
Now I think the only
grandparents.
Y'all ain't grandparents yet.
I think we only look at relationships one way, one-to-one person. And that's not always how a relationship works. It might work for me, it might work for somebody else, but somebody else might need 2 or 3 people.
I don't think that was the issue with our grandparents. I feel like their grandparents got pushed into these marriages at a young age because, as Risha said, you couldn't have sex with somebody if you wasn't married. So they really didn't even love this person, nor they know this person, but they had to be forced into it because they wanted to have sex with them. So they had to do it. And then when they found somebody they really liked, it was too late because I'm already married to her with these 8 goddamn kids I got fucking feed. So now I gotta go over to this lady's house, to Miss Hatton's house a couple nights a week.
Don't be talking about grandma. Don't be talking about grandma.
I feel like back to what Monica said, when you're building a foundation with somebody.
Monica curls is left. Soon as you said Miss Hatton, only thing was the top of Monica hair. And I was there.
Wait, let me on top.
So much of how things were created and made, they were done for so long. That's how it was. Now America came about, and they basically made their own ways, their own advances, or their own changes to how things were going.
Right.
They made
all right, so
I think the question is wrong.
I'm not saying whether their changes were right or wrong because I'm no judge. All right. But if you look at and if you think about, and this is something that that's rarely ever fucking talked about, and we look at it as disgusting, because I'm gonna take you back to the originals, to the beginning.
Do we want to go back that far?
We don't want to go back that far because everybody's talking about things they don't know, so we can't go back that far.
All right, so
no, listen.
Go back there, Ralph. You can't go back to Ralph. He wasn't even born yet.
So
I kind of feel like what Monica said, when relationships don't have a solid foundation, that's what allows others to be able to come into your relationship. Because your foundation wasn't solid. So therefore your relationship don't have a leg to stand on. So when your mate sees something else that looks beneficial or better, get her easily led astray because y'all don't have that solid foundation.
But see, Key,
Building
I
don't
feel
just
like
have
that.
one foundation.
Like you can have a solid
Because when you
relationship,
think about it,
like
you go
Heather
back to
said,
everything
is
your relationship.
Hold on, two talking.
Whoa. One at a time, because they can't. Nobody can hear each other. One at a time.
So I feel like Keon, I don't feel like it has to do with a foundation. Because let me tell you something. I could be the best cook. I could be the best dick sucker. I could be everything I need to be. But if I'm missing this one thing that he needs, it doesn't matter about that. Foundation is not the key. You can have a very solid, I feel like in my marriage, I have a really
But it
very
depends
solid
on
foundation.
what you consider the foundation to be. What you consider a foundation and what I consider the foundation of my relationship could be different. So to me, the foundation could be understanding who you are, who I am, your wants, your needs, and your communication. And those things, it has nothing to do with what I can give you and what you can give me, not give or take. It could be a whole bunch of different
Hold on. All right, Kelly, what was you gonna say?
So I'm with Kiana on the fact that it's definitely a foundation situation that has to happen, but it's also, like she said, communication. And something I saw today, not only communication but comprehension.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Okay.
So when you're mad, your heart.
Hold on. So no matter what I say, as long as I'm telling you what I need and what I want out of our relationship, because I need you to tell me what you need. I need to meet your needs and wants. You need to meet my needs and wants. If we're not having this communication and neither one of us are comprehending what either one of us needs, then that's when that happens for someone to fill in that puzzle piece. I
don't think men think like that.
Yeah, and that's what I was.
And I'm telling you,
you can have the best foundation. Like I said, you can be the best cook, the best dick sucker. You can birth all my kids. You can help me pay all my bills. You can help me through school. You can help me rack my rack.
I don't think so.
But she stand on top of her head.
A bitch could twerk on a Saturday night
She
and
ain't
fuck
standing
on a Sunday morning. That's what I'm saying. I don't think
she
that's
was
anything to do
standing on
with
top
that.
of her head because she know he like to stand on top of the head sucking. Then she will start doing it, and this wouldn't be the problem. I think there is a missing of something that's going on. That's what I think the problem is. That's why
listen.
If you got a job, if you got a job and you getting paid good and your boss respects you, you ain't getting no bullshit, you ain't doing none of that, then you're not going to want to leave that job because guess what? I get to come and go as I please. I'm getting paid good. Ain't no problems. My boss ain't fucking with me. Ain't none of that going on. I'm going to stay. You only want to leave a job when some shit you don't like is going wrong.
All right, here we go.
I can take this extra 15 minutes on his lunch break.
Yeah.
I'm taking this extra 15 minutes on his lunch break.
So listen.
Is.
Right.
It don't got nothing to do with the woman. That's the thing. Cheating has nothing to do with the woman, has nothing to do with the man. It has to do with inside the person.
All right. So here we go.
But that goes back to the communication.
Has nothing to do with that. People gonna do what they want to do.
But you can be
wait. Their partner.
I said,
let them know what they need or what they don't need.
Right.
And it's not the partner's fault. It is.
Here we go. I'm gonna keep it a bean with
you. The bitch is working and still getting fucked. That's all I'm saying.
What if that
I'm gonna keep it a bean for all the females in the room.
You can think you're the best cook, the best this, the best that.
Right.
But that might not be his love language. So that's what you think the solid foundation is. You have to have the communication to know what he thinks the solid foundation is.
Saunders.
So yeah, you cooking your ass off, you dressing your ass off, you twerking, but that's not what he's looking for.
But you stupid.
A glittery song will still get a nigga's attention.
Listen, all right, wait. Let me go. What the answers that we're getting right now, and I understand this because it's females interacting with other females, and I want y'all to get a kind of understanding. I want y'all to get an understanding about exactly what the situation is and whatnot. Because y'all coming to a conclusion about why men do certain things when I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, a lot of you have no clue. And
give us a clue, Keith. Give us a clue.
That's a clue. Males are the dumbest people on the fucking earth. What you mean a woman ain't got a fucking
You can be the best dick sucker. You can be the best cook and whatnot. The one thing that I'm gonna say.
I'm about to say.
You only think what I said dick sucker.
Niggas is dumb as hell. Niggas is born fucking dumb.
Everybody, so you can talk, Keith.
Listen, everybody listen to this for 2 seconds or whatnot, right? This goes back, and I'm not throwing nobody under the bus. I'm not putting myself in this realm, but I'm gonna say something that has been said since the beginning of time.
I felt targeted.
It ain't no pussy like new pussy.
Nigga, that's hold the fuck up, nigga. First of all,
I'm telling you,
ain't no pussy like new pussy.
listen. No. I'm telling you this.
No, God. Yeah, calm down, Shannon. Don't think about Shannon.
I'm just saying.
I
ain't no
I feel like sometimes y'all need your egos to
but I'm trying to
do that because y'all insecure and y'all need your egos.
But you're diagnosing a situation a lot of times that
Monica's face is classic.
You're diagnosing something that has been this is the reason why granddaddy was granddaddy.
I would like to go back to ain't no pussy like new pussy. I would like to go back to like ain't no pussy like new pussy. New pussy got herpes. You don't even know that new pussy. You about to come home with some crabs.
You don't know what she's doing.
Y'all are still diagnosed.
I get a T-shirt that says "Ain't no pussy like new pussy." I'm wearing it to the Saunders Family reunion. Ain't no pussy like new. I'm wearing it to the next. I'm wearing it. Serene baby's mom baby shower. Ain't no pussy like new. I'm wearing it.
Never get. I mean, listen. But the saying goes the same for y'all females. Ain't no dick like new dick for y'all.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Just fine. New dick don't be knowing what to do. All dick is just fine.
Quick
I don't believe that because somebody's old dick know what you like, know what you do.
Because not getting the love on in a tennis ball. She not having this conversation at all.
One at a time.
Women are full of shit.
Oh, wait, Kaheem, Dickie, Kaheem, then Ruff. Hold up, Kaheem, then Ruff. Go ahead, Kaheem, go.
I said, women sit here and try to act like they don't do the same thing. They better than us at this game. So
what?
I'm gonna sit there and say like this.
Absolutely.
Women are better than us at this game. That's why
a new type of vicious.
Can I say something?
Got that shit on lock.
My hands raised. Can I say something? Can I say something? Exactly. Can I say something?
Oh, wait, you next. Heather, wait till Ruff go. Ruff, go ahead.
I learned the game for women. I learned it from my aunts. As a single-digit kid, I learned the game early as hell from women.
I'll play y'all games.
It was from women who taught me how to be. My aunts who made me, who helped raise me to be.
Don't give away all the secrets.
Yeah, don't tell them that.
Listen, I just gave away enough of the.
That's it up, man.
Great because they taught me how to deal with
like comfortability and we like protection.
All right, Heather, go ahead. Heather, go ahead. Heather, let me hear what you say.
Okay, for one, I don't believe ain't no whatever it was.
You know what the fuck I said.
Good deed, like new deed. Okay, let me talk. I don't believe that because for one, women are creatures of habit. We like to feel comfortable and we like to feel like loved and cherished and stuff like that. So we're not going to just go out and sleep with Tom, Dick, and Harry because for one, I mean, we may, but for one, we're going to always revert back to some old D. Because for one, the old D, listen. Listen, just listen to what I'm saying. We are creatures of habit. So we don't want to have to teach your dumb ass what to do and what not to do and how we like it on this first night that I'm going to step out with you. That ain't what we about to do. What we going to do is we going to go back to Tom because Tom know what I like. Tom know how to flip and flow and roll and do all that shit that he like. We going to go back to Tom. Tom
but that's the reason.
We're not willing to train you. We don't want to train you.
I don't believe that.
So women are creatures of habit.
Go ahead, Heather. Go ahead.
Women are creatures of habit from day one. You can sleep with a million niggas, but guess what? The one night that you don't feel like teaching a nigga how to do some shit, you gonna call a nigga that you know you ain't got to teach how to do no shit with. That's the one that you gonna call. So that's called a stable, though.
That's called a stable.
Like new P. They like new P. And that's on y'all to like the new P. Girls don't get down like that.
Listen.
So what you trying to say? Ain't no dick like some old dick.
Exactly. Some mature and understanding dick.
At one point, though, Kelly.
Huh?
Wasn't old dick new dick at one point?
Yes.
And see, this is kind of what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing. Listen. If I'm dealing with somebody right now, and he ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing,
right?
And I call up somebody They used to know what to do.
The double
how to do
you
it.
don't.
Ain't no dick.
Versus the double
What's the problem when the man do it? What's the problem when the man do it?
I can't call it. I can't call it.
Men don't go that way.
Men don't do that.
Don't go. Well,
new P is
I'm not
better.
gonna say they
so
don't.
Y'all gonna go get something new and y'all don't even know because y'all need to stroke y'all ego.
Yeah,
Like, y'all that nigga. Meanwhile, her back of her mind, she like, what the fuck was this nigga doing? Let me call old Tom back because this nigga thought he was a shit up in here and he wasn't.
Still gotta go. You still gotta get new dick in order to return the old dick. So if you fuck a new nigga and you like the new nigga, then that's a whole different ball of wax.
I'm gonna mute my goddamn
old dick.
Uh-huh.
Yes, at one time it was new dick. Yes.
First of all, any woman that's a woman always got women always got old dick. There's always an old dick in an inbox.
High five.
Women
got
old
ass
High
phone.
five.
There's always old dick just laying around like fucking dust.
High
There's
five,
always
Shane.
old dick when you're a woman.
So I got a
There's
question.
always old dick. There's not. Women don't like I said. Women don't like new dick. They like the old dick that might be like new dick because you used to dealing with old dick. There's not no old dick is always laying around. And since the corona,
And it's
old dick
always
is popping
wanting
up
to get
everywhere.
bent.
It's crazy.
It is always
old
trying
dick
to
is
come
on a
back.
rampage right now. Old dick is on a rampage.
That's because bitches is
But here's
lazy out here. That's what it is.
Hey, right now, Corona, old dick and pussy is on a rampage.
Yeah, old pussy on a rampage too. Yes.
A bucket of oil.
Like Heather said.
You're the one that said it first.
Like
y'all men are so stupid.
Like Heather said.
Like it's crazy.
Women
Y'all
always
are so
got
stupid.
it. That's what it is. Y'all outsmart yourselves in everything because you have it on lock. You don't. You think that manipulation tactics in your own mind.
We don't gotta have it on lock. It has to do with lock.
Listen,
it has to be a preference. It has to do with lock.
in your own mind.
You have absolutely no idea what we're doing.
We don't, though. That's not how we do with things.
Exactly.
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. That's exactly
women are from
the game.
Venus.
Exactly. It's comfortability. It's just that simple. If I'm gonna step out and cheat, I ain't gonna go step out and cheat with Rick. Rick might run his mouth too much. Rick might know that I think I got the perfect marriage, so he ready to interrupt this shit. I'm gonna go out with Tom, because me and Tom done been there and done that, and Tom probably got his own shit going on. So Tom already know that I'm like, Tom ain't
always available.
Tom gonna be good. Tom gonna know what I want, know what I want. Good time, I'm going home, he gonna go home.
Right.
That's how guys are so stupid. You worried about the nigga buying me drink at the bar. I'm gonna use the nigga buy me something to drink at the bar. Meanwhile, Tom's over there responding, you up saying, oh, what's up?
Of course.
Y'all been married, y'all good.
Right.
Wait
a minute. Wait,
I gotta follow up. I gotta follow up.
And it's Dexter St. John
That is your
over in
sister.
Jamaica.
I can
Or
tell.
I
Bobby
gotta
Brown.
follow up to Heather. I gotta follow up to Heather.
Jamaica? That's disgusting.
Oh no, I gotta follow up to Heather. That she's so right because if we're gonna deal with somebody, if we are in a situation,
right,
we need to be able to and be done.
What was that? You snapped.
Not worrying about my situation. They have their own situation.
What's that Leo shit?
Thinking about it. I need somebody that when I see them in the street, and I might see them in the street with whoever they with. Yo, what's up, fam? How you doing? And keep it pushing.
All what y'all saying is understood. It's just one of them
Kelly,
things
that's
where
Leo
that
shit for you.
old dick at one point was new dick. Old dick was new dick at one point.
But we're talking about you're in a relationship already. The old D is the old D. It's not new. You're already in a relationship.
But if the old dick ain't available and you have to find new dick, you're still gonna go find new dick.
No. Hey, Key, what about the old shit is better? Hey, Key, what about the old shit is better than the new shit?
Then maybe that's what it is.
Key, what about the old shit is better than the new shit, Key?
Right, but that goes for every party. That's kind of how that works.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, what about the old shit is better than the new shit? Answer that.
Listen, check it. If you are looking to step out on a situation,
Michael Lee said, according to who?
Yeah.
check
Answer that. Is the old shit better than the new shit? It's a fucking problem.
If you're looking to step out on your current situation
done that
for a day, You're not trying to step out with somebody.
So let me ask you a question. Let me
teach because
I can't hear what Kelly's saying.
I'm listening.
I can't hear Kelly. Shut up, y'all.
Thank you, Heather.
That's inappropriate.
If you're in a situation and you want to step out for a minute, you're not trying to step out with something new because you got to train that to what you like. I ain't got time.
And he might tell.
I understand.
He might
tell. He might.
Listen, he not gonna tell. He not gonna tell if you put it on him.
To your president.
No, but he may not tell if I put it on him.
Exactly.
However,
I mean, it tells niggas
that's trying to come back for more, and I'm like, yo,
exactly.
One shot deal.
And then that goes into a whole nother stalker situation because
exactly.
And then he gonna start rubbing them fucking dreads.
All right, so
baby, I'm gonna make it raw.
Monica's been quiet. I want to hear what Monica's saying. Monica, please.
She been quiet the whole night.
I know she got something to say because
the bull
muted. She like y'all motherfucker.
Monica, please talk. Go ahead. What do you think about what the hell we've been saying? Please talk.
The bull rubbing her feet right now.
Shut up. That's why I'm not talking.
Oh. We only see your forehead.
Y'all.
Put your phone down a little bit.
Not that way. That's King.
He trying to see a nipple. He trying to see a nipple.
All right, so Monica, what do you think about what we saying?
Well, what I think about as far as the reasoning behind it, the reasoning behind your side pieces and all of that.
Whoa, she said pieces. Hold up. How many you got? She said pieces.
That ain't none of your business.
Worry about that.
She put an S on it though. She did put an S on it.
Hold on. So go ahead. What you saying?
The reasoning behind the side pieces, from my perspective, has more to do with what's missing, as far as what's going on in the relationship. But it also can be that there are a lot of people who are involved in relationships who really should not be in the.
I know, Keith.
She said pieces.
I know. She was screaming. They can't hear me.
Being in a relationship, we need to really figure out if we're growing in that relationship, if that's where we want to be in that relationship, before you go and add somebody else to it. And I totally disagree that we add strictly for sexual reasons, because we don't. You know, your side piece can actually be a person who is fulfilling your needs that your spouse isn't.
What type of needs?
It actually could be what?
What type of needs? Give an example.
It could be anything. It could be anything like you can't talk to your spouse. Like your spouse does not communicate well with you because, you know, maybe she's not the brightest light bulb in a box.
But you can do that without fucking though, right?
Yeah, you can do that. But you know, there's emotional cheating, there's physical cheating, there's
women emotional cheat all the time.
Yes, y'all do.
Women emotional cheat all
Men do it too.
Listen, cheating is cheating.
Women emotional
cheat. Thank you.
I
agree.
Cheating is cheating.
Women emotional cheat all the time.
What is cheating?
I'm sorry.
Both men and women do it. Men and women.
Women do it way more than men.
Women are so much better at it.
Yeah, women.
No, we are. But we're better at
everything.
Why you
good
at it? How good y'all are at it?
They're good at it. They're good at it.
I mean, great at it.
Y'all stupid.
We are. I agree, huh? Men are dumb.
Let's not pretend that.
I'm not listening.
Don't use that word. We not stupid. We not stupid.
Y'all are. Because if your woman want to cheat, the conversation, maybe the only thing she wants you to do is tell her goddamn good morning, beautiful.
That's a harsh word, though.
And your goofy ass can't even tell her good morning, beautiful. So now she got her work husband texting her good morning, beautiful.
But that's not.
Your dumb ass had to do was shoot a text.
That's not every man. That's not every man.
You get 13 good morning beautiful just off of Facebook alone. So if your ass ain't saying good morning beautiful, that's a problem.
It is. You wake up with that person. You wake up with that person every morning. Listen, I go to work in the morning. If you don't say good morning, it's a fucking problem.
All the time.
Huh?
All the time.
What?
Hey, niece, take your butt to bed.
I think you're more adult.
There's nothing that you need.
She said it ain't no school. We out here.
8 different
Y'all
people.
just not paying attention. Guys will cheat for sex before they cheat for emotional. And it's or you might have an insecure guy who he want to be told he cute too, even though he fat as hell. He want to be told that you like his fat ass.
Hold on, ain't nothing wrong with listen. I'm a cute fat nigga.
I like that big ass.
No, hey Keith, men are not cute. They handsome, brother.
I know. Listen.
I agree with
you can't use that. You can't use the word cute. Men are handsome. They're not handsome.
Well, they want to hear your wife say, I don't even know how to put it in that form.
No, you gotta say handsome. You can't use cute.
Handsome fat ass.
But see, that's what I'm saying and whatnot. You know when women, I'm gonna tell you what the issue is, right? Women find themselves emotionally cheating and whatnot when a lot of times they can't stand the nigga that they with. It ain't got nothing to do with the sex. Might be great. He might be the greatest provider.
And why your face like that, Shannon? What the fuck?
You know what I'm saying?
Handsome fat ass. Next question, Keith.
On the video and tape it at the same time. Cause look, I ain't got nothing. I don't know how to do it.
Hey Keith, next question, bro. We've been on this for an hour. Next question.
No, you're right. But because I do want to come to some sort of. In closing, though, I do want to come to some sort of, I'm saying, understanding and whatnot when it comes down to it. We're talking about polygamy. So for all those who would ever see themselves in a polygamous relationship, raise your hand.
I'm sorry, what? What was the question again?
You raise your hand up, right, nigga? No.
All those that would see themselves in a polygamous relationship, raise your hand. Nigga, what?
I can't see y'all hands.
If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. I can't have 2 women, but I will do 2 men. I mean, I'm not doing 2 men like that.
All right, you're muted.
He muted, Shannon.
You ain't coming to no more fucking football games or nothing with me. Good. Anyway.
Hey Shannon, I go to a football game with you.
Oh shit. Anyway, but no, honestly, so. Bro, all right. So y'all see yourself a polygamous relationship where it's 1 man, 2 women, not the 2 women, 1 man shit.
But why?
Hey, you go off the sword.
Men, answer that question.
Well, who first of all, what man gonna sit there and watch that shit with another?
No,
man?
that's not polygamy. That's polygyny.
That's polygamy.
Exactly.
That's something different. Polygyny is 2 men, 1 woman.
That's like watching porno and no go off the sword.
Who gonna sit there and watch? What man gonna sit there and watch their women get drilled by another man?
A whole lot of them. I done it to them. A whole lot of them.
Cuckold. So you've been involved in cuckolding?
It is black, white, Puerto Rican, them all.
That's inappropriate.
I don't know.
So let me ask you a question. If you
Monica's face is everything.
Yes,
look, everything that is on the group. Look how fucking Monica's face when everyone looks at the phone.
So y'all talking about cuckolding then? Y'all talking about cuckolding?
Oh yeah, no.
Cuckold.
Monica's face.
I will be in a polygamous relationship. It is fair. You can't have 2 women and not be another man involved. I'm not sleeping with another woman. That's not what I want to do. However, if there's another man who can change my tires and get my oil changed, fix the pipes,
I ain't doing none of that.
And I'm with it.
Oh, fix the pipes. Damn.
Pipes.
Clean the pipes.
There's a lot of leakage going on in this house. We have a lot of leaky pipes.
Oh, he went for Roto-Rooter then.
I'm gonna opt out.
Fixing wet pipes. He worked for Roto-Rooter.
I know.
It's too much being a wife. And it's a lot being a wife to 2 men versus 1. It's too much.
That's how I feel. I feel like 2 wives. That's a lot, bro. 2 wives.
But in the past, I had 2 or 3.
I'm good.
Hey,
now
one is enough for me. 2 wives.
I'm too tired.
I said 2 or 3. I mean, I'm here for it all.
All right. Hold up. Next question.
Where's Pam? He said 2 or 3. Where's Pam? I need Pam's input.
I heard the same thing.
He said 2 to 3 wives would be enough.
Yeah, something else.
In the
all right.
He ain't want an orgy. That's what that is.
I done those already.
And he still wants it.
Been there, done that, bring it on.
And he continuously wants it.
No, I don't. I've been good. I'm
Next
straight.
question. Next question. Oh, we're going to move on. Next question, right?
Yes.
Thank
you, brother. Thank you.
Look at Monica's face, Shannon.
Shannon, fix your
Kelly
face.
asked this earlier. Now, this is for the men, but I want women to respond to this. This is for the men, but I want women to respond to this. All right? Name some things as men that we find unattractive, but we feel like we won't tell women. And then women, what do you, matter of fact, but for women too, some things that you find unattractive about the opposite sex, but you would never tell them.
Stinky ass feet. Don't come in this house and take off them fucking shoes and your feet stink like shit. Like I'm not doing. What do I gotta do with that? Like that's disgusting.
If you got stinking breath,
feet.
stinking breath,
big eyelashes.
That you're not gonna tell? No, that you're not gonna
here's the
speak
thing.
up?
Here's the
That
thing.
you wouldn't speak up.
The
No,
question
I ain't
is,
got none of that then.
what is something about a man or a woman that you find attractive that you find unattractive that you normally wouldn't say?
Stinking ass feet. I said it.
But
you wouldn't tell Keith his feet stink?
What
I
man
usually
feet?
say,
Hold
hey.
up.
I know the ex his feet.
Hold up. What man feet don't say? If you working hard, it's a little older, you know what I'm saying? But it's not. Stinking feet, you can get over that shit. Really.
I can't get over it, Morale. If your feet stink, that's like stinky feet is a lot. Like that's a lot for a woman.
It depends on every man work hard. Every man work hard, sis. Though I ain't gonna front. Every man work hard. I don't care what they do. Every man work hard. Keep work hard. I work hard. Chuck work hard. It don't matter.
Don't bring them boots in this fucking house.
That's a
because your
man's
feet
odor.
is stinky shit. That's like me coming to bed with a stinky vagina. No, it doesn't work. No. Morale, no.
I think girls will fuck up.
No, I don't want no stinky feet.
Is unattractive.
He muted Shannon.
All right. So what's a woman? What's a woman stinking?
Right.
What's a woman odor? Besides that kitty cat, what's a woman odor that
fucked up ass feet. Period.
Under the breast. If your breast stink, you shouldn't be coming to bed like that.
That means you don't wash up. You don't wash up there. If your breast stink, you don't wash up. Plain and simple.
Your breast shouldn't stink now.
So wait a minute. Let
me tell you.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Exactly. First of all, as a woman, your mouth shouldn't stink. It shouldn't.
My hands raised.
As a man, your mouth shouldn't stink. That's why they got it.
What you say, Heather? Go ahead.
Go, Heather.
So wait a minute. These are things that you're not going to say to your mate. Is that what it is?
Yes. To your mate. Let's just say everybody
to a man.
Okay, for example, this is what I'm gonna say to my mate. Listen.
Okay, right.
If I know that Chuck's breath is a little tart,
exactly.
I might not say, "Babe, you're breasting." I'm gonna be
you
like,
give him a piece of gum.
No, listen. No, I'm not giving no piece of gum. Listen, I'm gonna be like this. Hey, you want a little bit of water?
That's the same thing.
Water don't do nothing.
Water.
It's just a nice way to say it.
Why wouldn't I be able to say that your fucking feet stink and stop coming in here with them?
All right, so here we go. Let's start something more sensitive.
Hey, hold on, Heather. That's the same. If you give him a piece of gum and some water, that's the same thing.
Gum is gonna be minty funk. Water's gonna wash it out.
That's so nasty.
Yeah. So wait. All right. So here's something else. Name something like this, like gone edges.
You get, first of all, don't give me if you give me for my edges because edges is subjective.
I think you took that personal.
But you find that unattractive?
You don't like people with edges?
I don't like people with gone edges. Gone edges. Edges that have disappeared over the years.
But that means
edges that are no longer there.
That's hereditary.
The black
that's hereditary though.
I like hair, my edges is intact.
You're Puerto Rican.
I want let that be. I want that on the record. My edges is
like what? Like when you listen. When you meet somebody and they got the Superman curl, and then all of a sudden they're like Hulk Hogan after 10 years.
How can't you tell
you been with somebody for 10 years? A lot of shit gonna change.
Yeah,
the stomach gonna come over your balls. Like a lot of shit's gonna change.
Yeah, your stomach comes over your balls.
Edges is not something that just happens. It's because they've been doing something to their hair.
And if I wear a lot of synthetic hair, then my edges might not be there. That's just something you got to deal with.
Yeah.
What about all right? So that's why I said
Heather has her hand up.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Heather. Go ahead, Heather.
This is how I feel. I feel like at my age, I'm not holding nothing back. For example, Chuck want to grow these fucking dreads. He don't have them dumbass little ass fucking braids in his hair. And I told him, I said, babe, listen, I don't fuck with old niggas that got braids. Because you look like you're going through a midlife crisis. That doesn't turn me on. Right. So you need to like get that shit the fuck out of here because it's irritating the shit out of me. It's not making me want to be like all up on you. It's making me want to fucking go to sleep. For real. So get that shit the fuck out of here. So from now on, he know he come to bed, he better put that goddamn wig cap on and a hat or some shit, because I don't want to fucking see it.
All right, so what about
if I had a lace front where it was down to here and it was showing my lace, you would feel the same goddamn way. You'd be like, babe, I can't keep coming out you with that wig. That wig's not right. I can't keep stepping out and my niggas talking about your wig and shit, babe. You gotta get a new wig.
So in Chuck's defense, he came home multiple years ago in which he was starting his dread process. He went to the Africans and they put a bunch of spiral curls in his fucking hair. And I couldn't stand it. He came home with a head full of spiral curls.
First and foremost, my hair
let me speak.
Nope.
So here's how I'm getting dreads. I looked at Keith's face. I looked at his hair makeup and I did not agree. I said, no, this is not a good thing. He came home with the spiral curls anyway. I said, oh, okay, I guess you're going to do this shit anyway. But it ended up being that it grew into something and he ended up looking nice with whatever it was.
I don't like braids. I don't like dirty hair.
Okay, so you don't like it at all?
No. I never talked to nobody that had braids in their hair because, especially on nobody's damn near 50 with braids in their hair and stuff, it just doesn't do anything for me. I told Chuck, I said, if you was to try to talk to me today and sit beside me in a bar, I would tell you just to file them divorce papers because you're going through something right now. Because that is not what turns me on. I can't get an uptown fade and you still like me for who I am. I can't do it because you didn't meet me with an uptown fade. Like you didn't meet me with that.
What is an uptown fade? You've referenced it several times tonight. What is
it's a half moon season. That's all it is. But listen, so check this out, right? But all right, for men though, let's talk about the over need in order for women to get their body done, or the big time need for fake butts, or for tummy tucks, for shit like that. Why is that? Like, if that's a situation we found unattractive, that's something. A lot of times, it's something that we got to deal with.
But do men even care if it's a fake butt or fake breast? Really?
I do.
No, you
don't like fake butts, dog. I think that shit is stupid. The one you ever see them girls with the legs, and when your thighs don't match your ass,
don't care.
Weird. That shit is weird, bro.
Yo, black women don't need that.
And that's what I'm saying. But you know what happens, Morel? This is the thing.
Some black women do. Some black women do.
This is what happens.
Our back to ass ratio is off.
This is what
sometimes our back to ass ratio is off, and we need it. I mean, I'm not one of them. Thank the Lord, because I've been blessed. And other than that, like I get it. Like sometimes people need it. Like if your back is bigger than your thighs and your butt, then you might need a Brazilian butt lift and fat at it.
Nobody needs it.
All the girls now, whatnot. You see the elbows and the kneecaps, but they got a six pack.
Hey, you got visitor behind you.
You can't do that. Like it don't matter. But that shit, like that's an issue. Because at the end of the day and whatnot, they flexing with the whole six pack. BDW, we love. I don't give a fuck if you have the gun or not. But why? All right, Besides, you asked about the unattractiveness. Sometimes guys, I think it's more of the need.
Monica, you told me to get Monica, I got a consultation on the first. You coming? Because I'm getting a body lift.
I personally don't.
My body's getting lifted.
If it's a fake ass or fake titty, I have touched fake titties. They definitely feel different, but at the moment, you don't give a goddamn. So I don't care about that.
Hey, Dave.
At the moment,
my quote unquote ex-wife, she had. And my brother's on here right now. Mike can test. Well, he never felt him.
God damn, they got that.
Wait a minute. Who you telling that I'm on the same table? I'll be back.
So, difference dancers, and she had them on top of the muscle. I've had my share of female dancers who had them under the muscle, as well as the fake asses and anything fuck else. I prefer that natural shit, bro.
That's how I feel.
We don't care.
That's how I feel.
No,
honestly, dog, I'm gonna tell you what, because the one thing that happens is they get a little bit of surgery, and then it goes to something else, and it goes to something else, and it goes to something else. You remember Little Kim? First 2 surgeries? Yeah. Now she look like Bride of Chucky. That shit is terrible. You know what I'm saying?
Hands raised. Hands raised. My hands raised.
You can palm a basketball.
My hands raised. My hands raised.
My hands raised too.
All right, Heather, go ahead. Heather, go.
Well, me personally, I don't like muscles. I like a fat stomach. I don't like muscles. I would prefer like a semi-fat person.
Heather, you contradict your whole you just said with your handsome fat ass, but then now you said, oh, fuck that, I like a fat stomach. Which one you like?
A fat stomach.
Like dad bod.
Can I talk? Like dad bod. Where's Kelly? Because she always advocates for me. Can I talk?
Heather has her hands up. Heather has her hands up.
I have never liked muscles, because muscle means that you're going to be in the gym more time spending time with the gym than what you're going to be spending on me. And we both can't take up the mirror. You can't be thinking you look better than me because you don't. I'm the prize. I'm the prize. And I'm okay with my stomach because I love my stomach. It's nice and soft and it's fat, and I'm okay with a fat person. I'll go for a fat person. Muscle people think they are cute. They all the shit. I've been in there. I've been lifting. I don't give a fuck about that lift.
But if that nigga is cut the fuck up and whatnot, don't y'all think
it doesn't turn me on? Muscles do not turn me on. I don't want a muscle. I don't want a muscle. You are hard. Your whole bodies are hard. I'm laying on your stomach trying to like get with you, and your bodies are hard.
But that's kind of
say last week. I used to have a crush on nipples.
No, but you be telling a lot of women don't like muscles.
Listen, I don't want nothing.
I know you all your stomach all hard. It's all making a bed sore on my ear and shit when I'm laying there.
Damn, bro.
Oh, they say my motherfucking stomach.
I could do without the muscles. Give me the fat.
I think it's backwards. I think because women are meant to kind of be soft, and men are are meant to be hard. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, it's one of those things where is that like you know what I'm saying? I said pause, nigga. Huh?
Why do black men only let us say pause?
They like to lay on
you. And now I get that, but my thing is that I think that there should be a form of strength. You know what I mean? A rockness to a man. There should be some form of softness to a female.
Hey, they don't like you super hard. They don't like it. They don't like it.
No, listen. Listen.
You know, they don't like
it. Hard and hard hitting together hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree. I don't like a super hard man either. Like you can't be all buff and like have it sound trying to get comfortable. I got in between your clavicle and your fucking shoulder. That's like too much.
Get your fat ass over here.
Like I don't want to do all that. Like, is it a pork chop?
Now let's get your fat ass over here, huh, Heather? Heather's hilarious. Get your fat ass over here now. Hilarious.
No, but she don't like the guys.
We're a fat guy family. Micah like fat guys. I don't know. My brother like fat guys.
Hey, fat niggas is not vegans either.
Kiana likes skinny guys. I don't know like what kind of guys. But any of it. So I agree with
your fat ass up here.
If you like doing too much in the mirror at the gym, like that's too much. Like you can't have like everything can't feel like a muscle.
Oh, that's
too much.
So let me ask you a question.
Don't buy me.
Hold on. Another topic.
I'd rather bring a fat
No. Yeah, because listen, all right. Because as y'all know,
we're not fucking fat women because we're the whole motherfucking problem.
No, listen. At one point, I was 350 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So, did you prefer 350 Keith, or do you prefer 250 Keith now that's trying to get it back down?
I prefer 265 Keith, which is what I met him at. I didn't meet him at 350. I don't even know how he got up to 350, but that's not what I met him at.
What you mean? But you
I said I don't prefer the big man, hungry man, Keith who's gonna milk. I prefer Keith when I met him. Keith was 265. He on the hoodie. It was round to his stomach. I was like, oh, look at his little stomach. That's so cute.
Look at his little fat ass.
From birth. And now I weigh more than him.
And I told him this relationship is not gonna work.
I got down to 217.
I don't date niggas that's 270. I'm fucking 250. What's up? Say hi. Don't hit me, Keith. I can't date no 217. You 217? What the hell is that? I'm not dating no niggas 217. You can't protect me if we get rolled on the movie theater. You can't beat the fuck up. I'm not doing that.
I was stronger at 217. I was lifting weights all day.
All I'm saying is that I appreciate the size you are now. I don't like little dudes. He got super little, and I was looking at him like,
nigga, you look like you on coke.
Nigga, I was
exactly.
I was the sexiest I ever been.
Mom was
don't
like,
do that, Kelly. Stop doing that shit. Don't do that
Mom
shit.
was like, is he okay? I was like, listen, I don't know what the fuck you doing, but this is weird as hell. I don't know what's happening.
She's trying to say
I
she
love bigger
like
guys. I love a bigger guy.
because they
I
can't
be
pick her
curvier
ass
than
up.
you. Because somebody approaches, then I gotta fight. I'm not trying to fight. Like, you supposed to be able to fight this person.
I can't knock a nigga the fuck out at 217.
I don't
knock a nigga the fuck out fast at 217, and I could at 350.
At least at 350, you have to knock a nigga out because you like you 350. 355, I like the O line, I like the D line. If you're a running back, I can't give him a running back.
All right, one at a time.
Yo, who's this Michael Lee? He's sitting there looking funny as hell.
I got my hand up.
He had the boots and boots.
He look funny as hell. He like, hey, he's in the wrong group. In the wrong side.
Morel, go ahead, Morel. What you saying?
I said, Shannon talking about little niggas. The only little nigga ain't saying nothing is the DJ. Go ahead, DJ. You little nigga. Go ahead.
I'm a little nigga. I'm a little nigga, but
Ruff not little.
Oh, God, all right, Shannon.
Ruff is little as hell.
I really am a little nigga, quote unquote. But my brother Mike and Kua and Keith is pretty much family too. They in the dark, I'm a big ass nigga.
Whoa, nigga.
Big ass. No
harm to do with that shit.
Wait a minute, man.
Why would you?
Ruff not as little as he looks. Ruff is not little.
Ruff is as little as he looks. Ruff is as small as he looks. I saw him in person. Ruff is as small as he looks.
Like the Black Bruce Lee, but I give respect. All I ask is respect.
Exactly.
I go at their neck.
No, we're not telling no story.
Wait a minute.
Ruff is not little.
All right.
So wait, no, I'm gonna tell my story.
Ruff is 125.
Ruff is an entertainer. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Did you say
one time I was privy to a show?
Yo, why you get the fuck?
No,
that was like
you're muted, bro. You are fucking
muted.
No, we're not doing that.
That was like what?
We're not doing that. Nope.
Hey, let me tell my story.
You want to test
Ruff is not little. So one time he was like, Ruff was like my brother.
You want to test?
So he had a show. He says, take this picture.
30. One.
I had to take a picture of the nigga behind stage.
Hold on, that nigga.
Ruff is not a small guy. He looks like he's small, but he's not a small guy.
Yes, he is.
Somebody said he's
Yes, he is.
125.
So Shannon just told a fucking story about bro doing a show that she just took a fucking picture naked of.
No, he was not naked. No, Ruff, it was Tamika's birthday. He was not naked. He was doing a show. He was not naked. I would never take a fucking picture of Ruff naked. That's weird as shit. I said that Ruff looks like a little person, but he's not little. He's not skinny. That's what I'm saying. He's muscular. He's an entertainer, so I didn't take no fucking picture of Ruff naked. You fucking think I asked me to take a fucking picture of him naked? I never said Ruff was naked. I said he asked me to take a picture of him with an outfit on because he's an entertainer. He's not a small guy. He looks small, but he's not small. That's all I was saying.
All right. Okay.
Yo, who said
inappropriate?
He said he 125.
Listen, I ain't been 125 since ninth grade.
No, Heather said that.
One at a time.
I ain't been 125 since ninth grade. So that's why I ain't even addressed that.
Listen.
I'm below my usual weight.
Listen, yo.
I still carry myself like
listen. Us guys at 200 pounds, we winning right now. I'm just saying.
I'm under 200 pounds.
Listen, I'm 218. We good. Hey, kid, we good. I'm 218, bro.
Listen, I'm trying to get back to my fighting weight.
But I'm just saying.
I don't know why.
235 is the key for the kid, and I will be great. 235 is great for me. That's great for me.
Yo,
265 is my preferred weight for a man. And if you're a man in my life, you don't need to be no 235. That's inappropriate weight for a man who's in my life.
Oh, what you say? What
yeah,
you
like that heavyweight. She don't want that lightweight. She want that really heavyweight. So
you gonna gain this weight in this quarantine.
Put a little more bulk on it so your wife is happy. You dig?
No, listen.
My hands raised, Kelly.
Listen, if you're not if you're not 200 pounds, you're not lifting your wife up.
You keep playing.
My hands raised, Kelly. My hands raised. Can I say something? Can I say something?
Go ahead, Heather.
Kelly turn. Let Kelly talk.
No,
okay.
Kelly,
in my years of before I got married, you know, I dated a smaller man than me. I'm not a very big woman myself, but I had dated a man that was smaller than me, and we had a session one time, and then the next time his fucking neck hurt, and that was the last time. Because if you want me to complain about your neck hurting because I'm a little bit bigger than you, and now it's a goddamn problem, that was the last time.
I'm very uncomfortable with this. Why was his neck hurting?
Then it's a wrap. So ever since then, I'm not dating nobody smaller than me. You have
Ardot wants to say something. Ardot wants to say something.
You was playing with a little boy, unfortunately.
That's what you know what, Ruff? Y'all was the same size.
Right?
Y'all the same size, Ruff. Y'all the same size, Ruff.
I am Hendrix. I don't take no shorts. I don't take no plays. But I am a
Tell her, bro. Fuck that. Tell her, bro.
I don't play.
Y'all the same size, Ruff. Y'all the same size. I messed with the 125 niggas before, Ruff.
Yo, she trying to say you a little boy like R. Kelly.
Get back.
Squad.
All that up.
Oh, hell no, you don't either.
Yeah. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless. This is last.
I want to wrap this up. This has been fun, y'all. I do want to wrap this up, but I do want
Go ahead, Keith.
Well, what you call? Oh, Heather had a topic. We gonna wrap it up with Heather's topic.
Oh yeah, Heather, what's your topic?
Heather had a topic. We're gonna talk
about. Look at Ruff shouting me out now. What's my topic?
No, because you had a topic. I want to hear the topic. What was the topic?
The topic me and you discussed.
Yes.
Okay, no, don't make it long because I'm about to go home. I got work in the morning. So the topic was so here's a story. You and your wife are in the grocery store with your 5-year-old son. Okay, you're in a grocery store and you happen to come across a school-age friend of your wife's, and I'm gonna use the name Sarah. Your wife is Sarah, and this is Melissa. So Melissa sees Sarah, and she's all like, "Hey, Sarah, how you been?" And Sarah's like, "Oh, I'm good, girl. You know, I married Keith, and now we have this baby. Look at our son. Look at Jason. Here's Jason." And Melissa looked at Sarah and was like, "Jason from Roosevelt. That's Jason for real." And you like, "Yeah, girl. All right, have a good day." And then your husband turned to you and he say, Who's Jason from Roosevelt? What the fuck was that about? And your wife say, "Well, Jason was a guy I used to date in
you
grade
didn't name
school."
the baby after your ex-boyfriend?
Wait a minute. Wait, he said Jason was a guy I used to date in grade school. We were in the 7th grade, and I really liked his name. And now your husband's upset because you done named the baby after another man. Would you be upset? Mind you. No, listen, be quiet. Y'all not be quiet. Because when you presented the name to Keith, you said, "Keith, let's name baby Jason." And Keith said, "Oh, Jason is dope. I ain't never met nobody named Jason. I love the name. Let's name the baby Jason." This was 5 years ago. Now little baby's name Jason, and you're finally finding out where your wife got the name from. Or would you be upset?
Can I ask
Wait a minute, let me finish before y'all all start. Me personally, I feel like I was in the 7th grade, and I dated somebody at 12 years old named Jason, and now we're 40, and you gonna get upset about this name that you love anyway? You need to get over that, bro.
Nah.
I think that's bullshit.
You would never got that name if it wasn't from your ex, plain and simple.
But y'all was 12.
Here's the thing.
It don't matter.
Had she said when they were naming babies,
Right.
I went to elementary school with this kid named Jason, and I liked that name. What do you think? Instead of now it's 5 years later, and you're just finding out that this is named after some kids you went to elementary school with. Well, it's 7th grade, so
exactly, it's 7th grade.
You let that nigga finger you.
Mute him. Mute him. Mute him.
Oh, that was your first kiss, huh?
But see, and that's where jealousy and insecurity comes in.
That's not insecurity. You can't name
exactly
your son after another nigga. I don't care if you talk to him.
How you feel about that nigga?
You have to let your man know.
Donovan is named after my 3rd grade boyfriend.
He is not named after your 3rd grade boyfriend. Stop that line.
I mean, let's just say if he was.
He's not. You're muted.
I feel like that's where people need to grow up. I feel like y'all need to grow up. We was in the 7th grade. Everybody got somebody's name, and we was in the 7th grade. I feel like it does have a relationship cap on it. If it was within the last 10 years or something like that before we got together and that was my last relationship, then it should be a problem. I was in the 7th grade, and me and Jason ain't have no sexual relationships in the 7th grade. I was 12 years old. I think you need to grow up. And guess what, nigga? You like this name too. Now get the milk.
But don't do that. Don't do that. You can't say that to him when you didn't tell him at first who you named him after.
You ain't asked where I got the name from because you fell in love with it just same way I did.
That's bullshit. But you knew the whole time that's where it came from.
When the name came up, the rest of where the name came from didn't come up.
Exactly.
As soon as you find out where the name comes from, that's going to be a problem. We have a question.
All right, Morel, go ahead. Morel, talk.
Morel has a question.
So what is the difference? All right, I understand what Heather's saying. It's a name. She's saying 7th grade, but what if it's the last person you dealt with? So what's the difference? So what is the last person you dealt with? She said
it's really messed up if it's the last person you
dealt with.
Wait,
can I talk? Because it's my topic. Let me talk and answer this question.
Key, hold on. Let me finish. She was saying, the point she said it was 7th grade, the name, right? So what's the difference if it was the next person she dealt with? She was saying 7th grade. It's all about the name, though. That's what the thing about.
Right.
To me, it's not the name. To me, it's not the name. To me, it would be more relationship. I can't name my son after a 15-year relationship I had with Jason, and now our junior gonna be Jason because me and him ain't have a junior. That might bring a little bit more harsh feelings and emotions, everything. I was in the 7th grade. I ain't know no better. I just like the name Jason because I never held that name before. So
all right, Ruff. Go ahead. Ruff, respond. Go ahead.
I'm just saying about if I name my child as the person I was just finished dealt with, the next year, I'm talking about just for women. So if the woman gonna get mad, but if I call my daughter the same name of a girl I just dealt with,
that's what I'm saying, Ruff.
Would a woman get mad?
That's what I'm saying, Ruff. What was you gonna say?
Going around to where I was ready to take it to. Where and when? I understand a woman naming a child after her father, her grandfather, her uncle, a family member, even somebody who she related to growing up.
Right.
But when and where do you feel it's good on either side of the border? On either side, because we're going to make this clear. For a male to do this or for a female to do this. We're going to make this shit even as fuck, because we both even right now in this motherfucker.
I think that's about, I think we taking it too serious.
To name a child after an ex-lover. Period.
I don't know. I never had it happen. I probably, but I don't
okay, so wait.
Wait, Heather. Go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead. Hold on, wait.
I said, personally, I never had it happen. I personally don't think it's a big deal. Honestly, like it's my child, whatever. No.
Fuck that.
You better not do it.
Here's the thing.
Not do it.
I got you, Heather.
All right.
Here's the thing. There's a difference between naming your child from somebody you met in 7th grade and may not even still be in communication with, than naming it after the last person you fucked.
Understood, but still though, Kelly, listen to
that. I mean, the conversation needed to happen.
It needed the conversation.
When the name came up, it should have been followed by a story.
Yes.
I have a classmate way back in the day, and I used to love his name. Like, my son is named after a TV show that I watched when I was a kid. And
Right.
his father just happened to be like, I forgot about it. His father, can we name him Caleb? And I'm like, that is the name I always wanted to name my son. Bang. Is a whole conversation that should have happened behind that. Go.
All right, I got a thing. Okay, I have two things I want to say really fast. So,
because she got to go home because she got to go to work tomorrow.
Right, I got to follow up on your thing. So what if no one ever asked where the name came from? For example, Dylan's dad named Dylan. I never asked him where he got Dylan from. Dylan could have been his girlfriend in 2nd grade. I don't know. But he had the name Dylan. I never asked that. So what happens when you never ask is my first question. Do I tell even though you never asked? My second question is, what's the difference if, for example, I knew this little girl named London. She was probably 3 years younger than me. She was a pretty little girl. She's pretty. I always had the little name earrings in at like 7. Her name was London. She had a nice little hair and everything. I said, well, I'm gonna name my daughter London. So what's the difference from me knowing a London years ago and she was a pretty little girl? Now I want to name my daughter London. You gonna get upset because I want to name my daughter London?
Oh, it's different if it was a man. It was different for your son.
But why should it be different? It's the name.
We dealing with men, child. We dealing with men.
I know, but like I said, I never asked my son's dad where he got his name from. I never asked.
Because it's a boy. It's not like he was dealing with other boys.
I named Dylan.
If you came up with the name Dylan, then
I don't think I would have asked him where he got the. I didn't ask Makaya's dad where he got Makaya from.
No, but if you pulled the name Dylan to his father, he may wonder where you got that name from.
But this is when you naming your kid, who says where you get that name from, girl? Nobody.
Every black person.
Me.
Every black
person. I never asked any of my kids. Every black person. No, it's not every black person. For one, I never asked my daughter's dad where he got the name Makaya from. I never asked him where he got Makaya from. I never asked him. Never.
But if you found out that he got Makaya from an ex-girlfriend, you wouldn't have felt no type of way?
If she was in y'all was 12 and we grown.
Listen, let me ask you a question. Behind the
right, come on, last question down below. Wolf.
I don't know where you suck titties at.
That's what I'm saying. So if the little girl when you was 12, you was messing around with, finagling and fondling on her when you was 12.
Me?
So no, not you. What? Huh? What the fuck are we talking about? I'm talking about. I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. At 12, 13, 14, if I named my child after that girl and I didn't have that conversation with my wife before I did it, come on, that don't make no sense. You can't do
it's inappropriate.
Like I don't think I would be mad. I don't think I would be mad.
Y'all not agree with us. That's why she back.
5 years. Y'all was 12 years old. Y'all ain't know shit from y'all asshole.
I think Heather getting twisted. It's not about being mad. It's about
the conversation.
What if you met that person?
I don't think I'm gonna be uncomfortable. I wouldn't.
So
thanks for the name, girl. Thanks for the name and the nigga, girl.
Next question, Kelly.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, no.
I wanted to say thank you to everybody for coming out tonight.
Thank y'all so much.
Podcast.
She sound like Russell Simmons.
I have another Zoom to hop on too. So thank you.
You don't got another Zoom. You better get these steps.
But y'all know, I really want to thank y'all.
I got another Zoom. I got to get on too.
No, go ahead, do your thing, Kelly. We'll talk tomorrow, and we'll record the podcast tomorrow. 1 o'clock is going to be the time and whatnot. We get together. Make sure everybody tune into the podcast. Spotify. Matter of fact, I might put this on YouTube. You never know. I might have put this on YouTube. You never know. But anyway, listen. I want to thank all of y'all for coming out. You know what I'm saying?
God bless and good night.
For blessing the situation.
I ain't glasses foggy. He ready to go.
And I end my podcast normally with the same saying: you cannot forget, and you must always remember. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You cool, and fuck you. I'm out.
Fuck you.
All right. Love y'all. Love y'all. Peace. I'll holler at y'all. Thank y'all.
Hey, yo, I'm the only Philly motherfucker in here.
Oh well.
Background.
Stay on about the rock.